It's time for TWiT. We've got a great cast, a great panel assembled to talk about some very interesting things, including Eric Schmidt's e-commerce fantasy, Amazon's new social network, and a look at programmers. This Week in Tech is next.
Netcasts you love.
From people you trust.
This is TWiT.
Audio bandwidth for This Week in Tech is provided by the new Winamp for Android, featuring wireless sync and one-click iTunes import. Now with free daily music downloads and full-length CD listening parties. Download it for free at winamp.com/Android. Video bandwidth for TWiT is provided by CacheFly at CacheFly.com. This is TWiT, This Week in Tech, episode 313, recorded August 7th, 2011. Turn right for pants. This Week in Tech is brought to you by Squarespace.com, the fast and easy way to create a high-quality website or blog. For a free trial and 10% off your new account for 6 months, go to Squarespace.com and use the offer code TWIT8. And by Audible.com. Sign up for the Platinum plan and get 2 free books. Go to Audible.com/TWIT2. And don't forget to follow Audible on Twitter. User ID Audible_com. And by GoToMeeting. Now with high-definition group video conferencing. For your free 30-day trial, visit GoToMeeting.com, click the Try It Free button, and use the offer code TWIT. This is TWiT. Welcome, everybody, to This Week in Tech, the show that covers the tech news of the week. And yeah, we started about 10 minutes ago. I don't know what happened there. Maybe it's your fault. Docta is back in town.
When I'm here, we burn this place down. New building, new fires.
DumpyHippo.com. What is the name of your site?
Exactly.
No, it's not. What is it?
It's on the screen. Hippo Ninja.
Hippo Ninja.
That's right.
And what is this? Wait a minute. NYC, that's New York.
Yep.
19 spades. And
6'9".
I love...
So that's black for Sean John. 1969 is when he was born.
Oh, I get it.
Yep. New York.
Sean John.
Sean John. P. Diddy.
Fubu.
Puff Daddy.
For us, by us.
That's right.
I want to do a new label, For Geeks, by Geeks. Fugug.
I'll buy it.
Would you buy it?
I would buy it.
4 Geeks. Everything would be XXXXL.
Just make tents. Get the shirts then.
Okay, this is the ugly side of the table. Let's take a look at the attractive side of the table. Joining us right now from TechCrunch.com, Alexia Tsotsis. It's great to have you finally after all this time.
Very nice to meet you.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
I haven't met you. Pleased to meet you.
Pleased
How are
to
you?
meet you.
Thank you very much for being here. Sitting to her left, Jolie Odell, formerly of Mashable, now at VentureBeat. Congratulations on the new gig.
Thank you.
It's great to have you both. And you know what the deal is. We talk about the week's tech news interspersed with profit-making commercials.
I think Docta is beautiful.
Exactly.
I don't think he's ugly.
Oh, I'm going to have like luck for a year. I need a lottery ticket and a rabbit's foot. I'm good.
Hey, you shaved your head just for the show today.
I did. I keep it smooth for you, Uncle Leo.
Now, Alexia drove up and with you, and I understand that she was reading you the stories so you know what we were talking about today.
Yes, because I don't know how to read.
Was there... Well, you're driving. You don't know how to read and drive at the same time. Was there a story that grabbed your attention that we should start with?
We were reading MG's post with Google. There will be bad blood, and then we were reading. Hold on, we were reading the poker game one, which.
Well, let's start with Google.
A novel.
Let's start with Google. There will be bad blood. I guess that's what we were talking about. We were talking about evil.
Well, we were talking about how. I mean, we were reading the poker stakes one about the patent.
Right.
Auctions.
So Google lost the Nortel patents to Microsoft and Apple, and they didn't seem to be very kind of aggressively bidding. They were bidding pi and other weird numbers, right?
I mean, that's a matter of debate.
When pi's in the millions and billions, it's not really a joke.
$4 billion.
That's not really a joke.
You're bidding billions.
It's cute that it's pi, but it's still serious money.
Still serious.
And then the Google Council did a blog post.
David Drummond, I think. saying that these companies are banding together in an anti-Android stance. That essentially they want
to litigate, not innovate.
Yes, and they want to pass on a charge to consumers. So essentially, you're paying Microsoft people like Samsung are paying Microsoft stuff like $15.
We don't know, but it's thought that they're making as much as $15 a phone when you buy an Android phone from these companies that are licensing Linux from Microsoft.
So it's like these companies are starting a kind of anti-innovation, anti-Android cabal, and then Microsoft, Frank Shaw, came back at them with a tweet saying, but yeah, you guys we gave you the opportunity to be in on the Novell patents.
Yeah, see, that's the difference.
Well, then they went and they bought a bunch of IBM patents like the week before.
So what's really happening is everybody's patenting up,
yeah,
right?
And if they're trying to say otherwise, it's a complete PR war of words that means nothing to the reality of the situation.
But doesn't Google have to do that to defend themselves? I mean, maybe they don't believe in litigating.
If you talk to a patent lawyer, yeah, they do.
But and Google's not litigating at this point. They're just getting patents.
So they can countersue when they're confronted with more patent litigation
as
down the road.
defense.
Right.
So what Google, I don't think it's inconsistent if Drummond says, well, we wish people would just not
sue us.
Well, that's not the way the world works.
It's like, but if you're going to draw a gun on me, I better have a gun.
That what we keep hearing earlier,
well, that's
mutual
not what Gandhi would
annihilation,
say, so.
like everybody dies.
Wait a minute, you think Google should practice passive non-violence?
No, I'm just saying they're trying to paint
They should lie down on
the. That's why they lost.
That's why they lost. They were too passive.
It's a bad situation to be in, because even like the whole teaming up of companies, like with Sony teaming up with Apple and stuff like that, like all these smaller companies coming together as one. I'm like, Sony, if you didn't have Android, you wouldn't sell any handsets. Sony would not sell one single phone right now if it wasn't for Android, and even their Android phones suck. I'm sorry, Sony. I love most of your products, but your phones are garbage.
The Xperia.
Yeah, they try to put their own thing on top of Android, and then you want to go and try and work with Apple, because Apple's never going to do anything for you.
But I agree with Drummond when he says the problem is that these companies who are getting steamrollered by our superior product, instead of innovating,
instead of competing on a product level,
are suing.
I mean,
Microsoft is involved, and they're trying to compete on a product level.
And failing miserably, by the way.
Are they? I think
yeah,
they are. The numbers.
They're not selling well, but the phones look good, and
they're not.
pretty.
Well, they're not selling well. Is a pretty
let's
good.
put it this way.
Metric
I'd rather have a selling.
One at a time. Okay.
This is going to be great.
I'd rather have something that looked horrible that sold hand over fist than something that looks good and nobody wants to buy.
I don't think anybody disagrees that Windows Phone 7 is actually aesthetically superior to Android, right?
It is. It is. More
it's not
fluent.
as functional.
Maybe they need more marketing. Maybe they need a bigger push. Maybe they give everyone a phone for free.
I think they did a pretty damn good marketing push, and I just think people were happy with the phones they had.
I think the race was over when they entered the race.
Unfortunately,
they can't be happy with the phone they have, because Android keeps selling phones hand over fist. People are trading in phones left and right to get new phones and upgrading phones. I mean, the numbers are skyrocketing, so the market is available out there to them. So their marketing can't be that great if they can't be pulling in the numbers that Android is growing in. Android is doubling, tripling. Like, there are people buying these phones.
But isn't Android like most popular among first-time smartphone owners?
That's what I'm talking about, the marketing of Microsoft. I am recalling a hazy version of the statistic from a while ago, but I do recall writing actually about this, that people who had bought smartphones within the past 6 months or were considering buying smartphones for the first time were looking toward Android.
Is that because of all the ads Motorola did for Droid and all of that?
No, I think it's because it's available on more networks, and there are some of them that are really effing cheap, too.
Yeah, the price
like, you could walk in and have a new contract and get an Android phone for, what, $99?
But I'm going to guess. Let me just make a wild guess. iPhone, iPhone, iPhone.
Android.
iPhone.
You see what kind of computer she's rocking. You know what she's doing.
She's using an HP Windows 7.
Right.
What I admire about Jolie is that she hasn't joined
the Apple cult.
Yes.
I refuse.
She's like, every time people start talking about Apple, I put headphones on.
I have far preferred,
full armor on.
and everybody watching at home knows, I far prefer Android to the iPhone, and I carry an Android phone as well.
Well, let's put it this way: the Sony makes a Air-like laptop. It's lighter than this. It is sexy. It comes with a.
But it runs Windows.
Besides that, I'm just talking about the aesthetics of it, the way it feels.
That's an issue.
The way it feels. No, forget the operating system. Just the way it feels, because you know Apple makes things that are pretty, right?
But I'm running Windows on this Air, so I could do this.
And OS before I come and take that big chair from you. I'm trying to tell you something.
You want my Dr. Evil chair? Really?
Sony makes a really nice, thin, light, beautiful laptop, and it's awesome. The problem is that it costs $3,000, and I'm like,
bingo.
It looks so sexy, and that's what everybody buys Apple for, because Apple does pretty. Well, and this is pretty, but it's $3 grand. I'm like, I can buy two of these for $3 grand.
You know what? We're going to have a test of your theory, because Intel has announced these ultra-mobile PCs that will run at less than $1,000 that look just like a MacBook Air. This is coming in early 2012 or maybe late 2011. So this will be a test. I don't think they're going to outsell these.
Then I'll buy 2 of them and give you one.
Well, that's because people attach so much emotion to the glass and plastic and ones and zeros behind hardware to the point that it doesn't have anything to do with the hardware itself. You know, Apple people are not going to buy that product.
Can I tell you something?
had known
it's
that-
emotion-based.
if I had known that you were going to be sensible, I would never have invited you to this party.
I'm leaving.
You're absolutely right. Of course, you're right. It's a religious war.
I would buy that Sony laptop if it didn't cost $3,000.
No, you
I just
wouldn't.
want something light.
This is going to be the test. We'll
I
see
have
when
Mac and PC at home. I'm just like when I travel.
we'll see
I want
when this
something light.
this
Would
ultra
you
light.
buy the
the lightest.
Ultrabook? Would you buy the Intel Ultrabook? I wouldn't even consider it. I'd rather pay $300 more
Yeah,
for something
well, that's different.
That's adorable.
That's not even useful.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's
So-
$710. What are MacBook Airs at this point?
$999.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's $300? I mean, it's a lot of money, sure, but
What's money? We have to support
So-
America.
I mean, yeah,
So-
what's
The
money?
children, man.
To get back to the phones, do you think that's why they buy Android? Because it's cheaper?
For a lot of people,
Or
yeah.
because you're a
In the
T-Mobile
real
or a
world,
Sprint
yeah.
user and you don't have a choice?
Windows is just as cheap as, again, that marketing thing and the bad taste in the mouth. I had Windows smartphones forever. I've got a phone that's this tall, that wide at home, that still runs, and it runs Windows, but I would never buy another Windows phone because of that experience from moving to new smartphones. So Microsoft has a bad marketing. They haven't gotten in people's brains, this is awesome. Because when you pick one of those phones up, I'm like, this is sexy.
Yeah.
I'm not giving up my iPhone for it, but I'd pick that over Android. But they're not getting that across to the masses.
To underscore what Jolie Odell said, this
That map gives me a
this is like politics now. It's like
Yeah.
red states and blue states. Although Android is the yellow state, iOS is the blue state, gray is BlackBerry.
No, gray is they don't have phones in that state.
It's North and South Dakota, Oregon. I don't know, New York, which is interesting. I think New York probably is BlackBerry because it's government and big business dominated.
It's girls with nails.
Virginia's government and their BlackBerry.
When I worked in a modeling agency, everyone had BlackBerries.
Yeah,
I
it's
didn't even
girls with
know
nails. You can't type
what
without
an iPhone was. Yeah.
a keyboard.
Dang, what?
Girls, every woman I know in New York won't touch a smartphone. They're like, look, I can't click anything.
I have
like that.
nails.
You know
I
how
have an
fast I am?
iPhone. What are
I
you
just said
talking about?
Northeast.
Shit.
We're on the West Coast right now. I said at home.
Nails.
We're Northeast. I'm
Nails.
just telling you.
This
look,
is the girls with nails theory.
let's vote this out.
I don't
Somebody
think
back
you're
me
right on
up.
that one.
I'll grow nails and I'll show you how hard it is to type on this iPhone.
So I'm very surprised at how successful Android is. And yes, it's like a cumulative across all the OEMs, but 40% of the market, according to ComScore, with Apple at 26%.
Yeah.
Can I note one thing? You know how boring patents are? We talked about patents for 30 seconds and just
Okay,
went on
wait,
the
you wanna
aesthetics of
dig
these
into
phones.
Back to patents.
No.
Okay, let's get back to patents.
No.
Patents.
You know what, though,
Because they're
before
not
the show
boring.
began, we were talking about evil and in this context. And I think this actually is an interesting topic because the issue was that Google is evil.
No.
Yes,
it's a
you said so.
corporation. No, I said it's a corporation.
You said it's amoral. That's
it's
different.
amoral, which
Yeah.
is not evil.
Right.
My problem with Google right now is they're doing this whole, oh, these poor people doing the Android platform are getting persecuted by these big, bad corporations and their big, bad patent lawsuits. Hey, IBM, can we have some of those patents things? Yeah, this sucks. Patent law
That's a
is
good
stupid.
point. It's a
like,
little ridiculous for a corporate lawyer
It's PRBS.
to say, oh, they're bad because they're, suing us.
Yeah. They're only bad because they're suing Google.
Right.
And when Google has the power to countersue, I think that we'll see a lot of this rhetoric go down the toilet.
Right.
You won't hear anything about it once they have
Exactly.
patents.
It'll be back where patent law belongs.
Yeah.
Off the blogs.
Yeah.
So do we agree that
blogs,
software patents
sorry.
are the real problem here?
No.
Or is it corporate behavior that's the real problem?
Corporate
Everybody
behavior
has to make
surrounding
money.
software patents.
Together.
Yeah, together.
It's an evil nexus. It's the the axis of evil.
Well, it's like everyone has to roll around in this patent mud because
Right.
the system's so broken.
you have
that we
to.
have no other alternative.
You cannot not participate.
It's going to work itself out. We shouldn't even be talking about it. If Microsoft wasn't tweeting that Google was trying to screw them on deals,
Well, I
then
mean,
it
money's
wouldn't
going
even
to change
matter.
hands, and it's all going to be, water under the bridge in a matter of weeks or
Exactly.
months. But then don't you ever wonder, okay, so when it comes to like Oracle and Google, how do patents on something like Java work? It's supposed to be open source software, and Android is too.
Look at this. That's another huge lawsuit.
Open source.
Oh boy.
patent stuff?
Yeah, Sun or I guess Oracle now.
Yeah, yeah.
And Java.
Here's the funny thing: I don't think we would have seen the lawsuit if Oracle hadn't bought Sun.
No, of course not.
No.
In fact,
Oracle
some may
holds, like-
make the case that that's why Oracle
Yeah,
bought
are
Sun.
you saying?
Yeah.
Ooh, we can sue Google now. We've been waiting for that. I am thrilled. This is a great panel. I'm so glad we brought you all the way up here from San Francisco. Alexia Tsotsis of TechCrunch.com, Jolie Odell, now of VentureBeat.com. Great to have you. Congratulations once again. Doctor, who is of Jumbo Hippo.
Yeah.
Hippo Place.
Exactly.
What is that?
No, I like you saying goofy things. You keep making up
Hippo
stuff.
Ninja.
It says on the screen. People can read. I don't
But the
need you to
last
say it.
time, yeah, but some people listen in audio. In fact, a lot of people.
But they can guesstimate what you're trying to say.
Hippo Ninja. What is? I'm just looking. I'm going to look it up. Hippo Ninja. What do I get when I get here?
I made a new social network.
Nothing.
I got people.
Give me your
Listen,
email
listen,
address.
I got to
doing
give me your
lead
email
gen.
address. Look, it's a cute hippo. That is a cute hippo.
That is definitely a value add.
And you know what? They're going to be my prime source subjects when I launch.
You promise you're not going to sell my email address if I sign
I
up?
might sell your email address. I won't sell their email address. I promise that I will not sell anyone's email address except for Leo's. Which
Oh, I get it.
is
It's
public.
a ninja hippo.
Yes. The most deadly. What's the most deadly animal on the planet?
The hippo.
Yes.
You know,
so what's
it's-
even deadlier? A ninja hippo?
You know, actually, it's Shark Week, right now.
Yeah.
And
Love
people
sharks.
often think, are you guys watching? Are you watching all the Shark
Yeah.
TV? People often think that sharks are bad, they're evil, they're deadly. In fact, we're much more dangerous to sharks than they are to us. Only 5 people a year die for sharks. Here's a list put together by the website damncoolpictures.com. Things that kill more people than sharks.
Obesity.
Guns,
Obesity, number 1.
crack.
30,000 people die every year. Remember, 5 people die from sharks.
Actually,
100,000 people.
That's 29,999. I didn't die last year.
You lost 15 pounds,
Right?
dude. I'm
I
proud of you.
didn't
You're
die, so
going.
I'm good. I'm trying
I
to
want to see the
hold it
skinny
down.
O doctor. But
Texting.
look at
Lightning
lightning,
kills 10,000 people.
texting.
Hippos.
Hippos, that's what I'm talking about.
There you go.
Hippos. You see a shark week, come at me.
Hippo
It's dangerous.
week. We
We're
need
killing
a
people in the
hippo
streets.
week.
That's all you need to know.
When are we
It's
going to
dangerous.
see Discovery do Hippo Week?
You want to know what the coolest hippos are?
What?
The cocaine hippos down in South America.
I do not want to see a coked up hippo.
No, it's not coked up. They're owned by a coke drug lord, and he brought in
Feeds
hippos.
them coke?
Yes.
Oh, that's so mean.
Just Google cocaine hippos. No, he
No.
doesn't.
Yes,
he
just
doesn't
Google
feed them.
cocaine
Look at
hippos.
this.
I'm
More
gonna
people
Google cocaine
die
hippos.
falling out of bed than die from sharks. 450 people a year. More people die in bathtubs. More deer kill people than sharks. More deer. Deer kill 50 times more people than sharks.
been ninja deer.
Icicles in Russia. Hot dogs kill 70
What?
kids every year.
How do hot dogs kill 70
They choke
children?
They choke on them.
What?
Tornadoes. Jellyfish. Dogs kill more people than sharks.
What's the bottom?
Ants.
I don't believe that.
High school football kills more.
This is
Vending machines kill 13 people annually.
I would
Do you
have
know
thought
what the-
vending machines would kill more people.
This is why people don't like me on Twit.
You know what
Because
it
every
is?
time I come on here, we get on some obscure
It's mostly
list.
It's all Shark Week and cocaine.
it's mostly
hippos from
people
you.
who didn't. The vending machine didn't give them what they paid for,
Kicking
and they
out.
start kick it and they pull it over on top of themselves and it kills them.
Wow.
So don't do that.
Well,
kids.
somebody should anchor them to the wall like they're supposed to be, but, you know.
So sharks are getting a bad rap.
5 people, that's nothing.
That's nothing.
That's nothing.
Hippos kill lots more,
That's right. Almost 3,000 people.
and a ninja hippo
Is
would
even
kill
worse.
so many.
You don't even know because they're ninjas. They're in and out.
Oh,
you don't know what they
doctor.
do. Dangerous.
We're going to take a break. We're going to come back with more. This can only get worse. Stay tuned.
Cocaine hippos.
Cocaine hippos. Go ahead. Please be
I'm
my
Googling
guest.
it.
Google cocaine hippos. And while you're doing that, everybody else should go to GoToMeeting.com right now and try it out for free for 30 days. GoToMeeting has just added HD faces. And I got to tell you, when they launched this, they showed it to us about a month ago. I was blown away at the quality, the clear, crisp, high-res video that you can now do on GoToMeeting. Now, you've seen GoToMeeting before. GoToMeeting, of course, is online conferencing. You get a VoIP line, you get or a conference line. You also get, of course, screen sharing. But now, you see people's faces. And I got to say, the quality of this, and everybody's got a webcam on their computer now. We did a meeting with 6 people, and it's incredible because you're seeing their faces, you're seeing their reactions. If you're making a sales pitch, you see your client, you see his body language, and he sees yours too. And frankly, that's how you sell. It's face-to-face. Go to meeting with HD faces. It's really remarkable. Mac or PC, completely cross-platform. Very easy to set up that next presentation. You see how easy? You just click that button. And it is incredible. For training sessions, sales presentations, weekly status meetings, all right from your desk. Try it free right now. Just go to Meeting. Click that Try It Free button. There's that orange button right there in the middle. It's hidden right now by the video here. I'll close the video and you can see it. Click that orange Try It Free button and use the offer code TWiT for 30 days free. The new HD faces. Mind-boggling! I think it's funny that Alexia was your Audible.com coming up.
She was amazing. We were trying to figure out how we could clone her.
We're trying to come up with like a startup model. Yeah. So we could get funding really.
Alexia in your car.
Yeah, I was just gonna chain her to the steering wheel and not let her leave. But
yeah, I'm like, do you mind if I read to you? He's like, only if you mind me chaining you to the car.
Well, it's nice once you get somebody reading to you. You don't have to do anything. I know. I don't have to click pause.
We'll talk. That's why I use Audible. It's great.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Gosh, Internet Explorer. Did any of you fall for this Internet Explorer story? The one that said IE users have lower IQs?
So did VentureBeat write about this? Because we didn't.
I can't recall. I don't read that.
I don't read VentureBeat.
I'm proud to say that this story came out before we did TWiT last week. I wasn't so much that I looked into it, I researched it, and I saw that it was patent nonsense. It was that I don't like survey results anyway. But you know who fell for this? BBC fell for it. CNN fell for it.
Well, yeah, it's one of those, this technology versus that technology, and let's have an emotional war that doesn't actually mean anything.
It's a good headline.
It's stupid.
It's a good headline. It said that this guy, he faked the whole thing. He claimed that he gave IQ tests to 100,000 browser users and that people who used Internet Explorer almost universally had lower IQs.
I mean, it reinforced what we all know instinctually, right? You know, that's why everyone fell for it. That's why everyone fell for it.
It was believable.
Because it was believable. You're like, okay, cool. Finally, we've got like actionable data on how Internet Explorer users are stupider.
I don't know that it's instinctual. I think it supports some stereotypes and prejudices that exist.
Says the Windows user.
Says the damn Windows user.
What are stereotypes? I mean, they're just pattern.
Wait a minute, Alexia, you're not asserting that it's actually possible.
No, not at all. Not at all. Yeah.
Yes, you are. She's laughing. No, I mean, well, okay, you're right. I'm going to confess.
Most people will hack.
I'm going to confess. It is somewhat believable because those are the people who just use what the computer came with. They weren't questing enough to see if there was an alternative.
It doesn't make them stupid that they care about things other than the internet.
Passive?
Come on.
Passive. And what is your definition of intelligence? I mean, as someone who's curious, active, goes deep into subjects. Does it have to be about
technology, though? Who has to care about a browser? I don't think you have to care about your browser to be intelligent.
You're right.
My mom gets outside. She's very smart, and I think she uses Internet
I know
Explorer.
for a fact Stephen Hawking uses Internet Explorer, okay?
No,
I mean, there's an outlier.
That's a lie.
See, it's survey said.
I read it on the internet. It must be
true. The real question
true.
is, why did everyone fall for this? I mean, it's like that was an IQ test for bloggers.
That's what he said. That's what the guy who did this said. He said this was an IQ test.
Did anyone call him?
Yeah, I think the Next Web did, probably.
If you followed it up, and if you go to the site, it's APTI APTI Quant.
Let me see if VentureBeat covered this. We have rules about getting in touch with the sources of news these days.
If you had rules like that, if the traditional journalistic rules had applied,
you have fact checkers.
It would have not probably happened.
And the problem too is, like, in this world, everything's viral. So if someone sees it, they want to post it because other people are posting it.
Right.
So they piggyback off each other, like, oh, somebody else wrote about it, it must be true. And then next thing you know, everybody's pulling retractions. Like,
this is the site that posted it has on its own site 5 or 8 telltale signs that this was a hoax, that you should have uncovered. The domain was registered
a month ago.
Yeah. The test mentioned a test that is copyrighted and can't be given online. The phone number, if you tried to call it, and the press release refers back to the phone number of his other websites. I don't know if that's going to work. The address doesn't exist. All the material he stole stuff, including images from another site. Now, this one I think you probably might take exception to, Alexia. He says the website is made in WordPress. Come on now. I think TechCrunch also is made in WordPress. I mean,
so is VentureBeat.
And so is VentureBeat. Yeah. And so is my blog. So
if it had been made on Blogger or something.
That would have been a giveaway.
Yeah.
He said there were grammatical errors. I don't know.
That's not a problem.
No. But I think had you called this guy, he might have told you it was a hoax, right?
He wouldn't answer the phone. He's going to let that run for a little bit.
I just think, you know, it's very typical, though, of media these days. Everybody's in a hurry. Very short news cycle. It's a great headline.
And what's that?
It's a great story.
What's the stat? 97% of all stats are false or something?
So I think that's the accurate stat.
Well, I think as media people, we have a responsibility to be gatekeepers.
I agree.
And that's the kind of crap we need to shut the gate on.
I agree. I agree.
I mean, things that are hyperbole and overly emotional and that don't enlighten people or clarify a murky situation, we can say, okay, this is stupid. We're going to let this one pass us by, and BBC should have done that. And
it's so. Don't you think? I mean, you both are bloggers in a very competitive field. Don't you think there's an intense pressure when you see a story like this to jump on it?
And you know, there was a Hacker News post that's like, don't do stupid shit. And that's the way that you get successful is to stop doing stupid shit. Like, stop.
But that's a long-term point of view that doesn't always
stop making dumb mistakes.
Right.
I mean, this is a dumb mistake. This is the
falling for this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like classic example of the stupid shit that you shouldn't fall for to be good at your job. I saw it and I was like, this is probably fake. Won't post on it.
So you immediately said, I don't.
It's not an interesting story. I mean, first of all, you tend to want to have original source material if you're if you're at the top 1% of your profession, or if you're blogging for serious and not just to pass your time.
Like for serious, man.
Like for serious blogging.
Like for serious,
Actually,
bro.
that's not true, because all we ever do is rehash your guys' stories. We let you do the reporting, and then this is opinion, right? So opinion is based on original reporting, but not necessarily doing original reporting.
This is all emotion. You keep talking about taking emotion out of it.
That shows a lack of enterprise on our part?
It's a different discipline.
I think it's different.
Yeah.
We're commentary. Right?
Well, how can you have an opinion about, you know, Internet Explorer users being stupider than everybody else? What's your angle?
Right. Well, the angle. Ask her what the angle is. The angle is that's not true.
Well,
the angle is it's too emotional a proposition.
It doesn't matter if it's true or not. It's completely irrelevant.
That's a good point.
It doesn't solve any problems whether or not it's true.
Most of the things people talk about don't solve problems. We just talked about patent law. We have nothing really to do with it until the end result comes out. I mean, but we talk about it. We get
we
like
can rail
emotion,
about it.
But I mean, again, emotion comes into it with people who aren't really involved. So, you know, some people like Apple or they like Windows, and they'll say, "You suck," and I'm like, "Really, dude? It's a computer. I use it. You use it. You don't have to dislike me." You know, dislike them, but people get so crazy about everything. We can talk about anything and have an opinion about it.
This is from the guy who wears NFL football jerseys. This is exactly what team sports is all about.
Exactly. That's why I'm not a fan. I'm not a fanatic. I'm not one of those crazy people.
If the Eagles win, it doesn't make you a better person in any way.
Actually, it does. If the Eagles win, I'm happy. Ask anyone who's dating me during football season. Eagles win, we can talk. We can go to dinner. I'll take you to the movies. They lose, we can't talk till Tuesday. Because just give me 2 days, 48 hours, and then we can.
And you say you're not a fan. Is there some stage that you haven't gone to that would make you a fan?
Yeah, I don't make fun of other people or children that like other teams. I gave you a different team jersey. I wear multiple teams jerseys.
That's true.
You know, I'm not a fanatic. I'm like,
I should be wearing my Titans jersey right now.
Next time, Gadget.
I apologize.
Next time.
So this is something that will both get you upset and angry, and maybe something we can do about. And this comes from Jolie Odell's article this week on VentureBeat. ISPs, how widespread is this? A UC Berkeley research group said that some internet service providers, when they see a search word, will redirect you, instead of to the Google page for that search word, for instance, to the site that you're looking for. So if you look for Apple, they'll go take you to Apple's site. Do they get paid by Apple for that? Is it advertising?
You know, it's affiliate marketing, which has always been to me kind of a little gray.
But they could make the excuse, well, if you typed Apple in this.
Now, Apple would pay somebody at some point, but there's such a long chain between, you know, the people who are doing this kind of marketing and Apple.
The company that does this is called Paxfire.
One of the companies that does
there's
it is
more than
Paxfire.
one.
Okay, so the thing about these researchers at Berkeley, they completely stumbled upon this. They were doing some really esoteric DNS behavior research, and they were like, whoa, we're seeing all these weird redirects. I wonder what that's all about. And so they poked the hornet's nest, and they found this collection of ISPs that were working with Paxfire that's doing this. And then I got an email from a reader who said that Time Warner is doing the same thing. Now, I haven't substantiated that because it's a weekend and I'm trying to relax. But
Well, thank you for coming here.
Thanks for coming here if you want to relax. This is
So who knows
the
how
rationale
many companies are
is
doing
that
this?
I'm sure the ISPs say, well, if you search for the word Bloomingdale's, you want to go to the Bloomingdale's site. So we're doing you a favor.
You know, when you assume,
That's a mistake.
you get taken to court.
And Apple, certainly, you could be thinking about something besides computers. You
I
might
could be thinking about apples.
So,
I mean, I think it's, and one of the EFF attorneys made the really great point. You have certain expectations as a user of how your computer and the internet are
Right.
supposed to behave.
and your
this
internet service
violates that.
providers should not change that behavior for money.
Right.
Exactly, because the one thing I'm tired of is, you know, Facebook knowing that I want to look at women with large breasts at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Everybody knows that, dude.
That's what I say to people. I'm like, how do they know what I want? Did I click that?
Everybody knows
Psychic,
that.
man.
You know, when certain things you expect like that, or like we were talking earlier about Gmail and the advertisement in Gmail. I've never once in my life clicked one of those advertisements, and I probably never will. But they scan my email and they have something very relevant.
there's nothing
to what my
wrong with
emails
that.
come in. No, there's not. I'm
Is
saying
there
those are.
not?
What is something very relevant?
No, well, here's the thing. That's what you expect to happen, right? I'm using a service for free. I use a service for free. I expect that to happen. Now,
And
the
they're very
ISP
upfront.
thing, that's different because
You're paying
I'm
the
paying
ISP.
I'm paying you.
Yeah.
So I don't want you coming in and telling me what I want to look for when I'm paying for your service to give
And you
me
don't
a
like
That's
the
a
idea?
very salient point about free versus
Right.
paid.
Paid.
If your service is free, you are the product.
Yes.
And you just have to resign yourself
You
to that.
deal with it. Like I said,
Yeah.
Facebook, I know what you like, that I like, you know. I
It's a rephrase of, I can't remember who said it. If you don't know who the product is, you're the product, right? If you don't know what they're selling, then they're selling you. Right.
To adversers.
To advertisers.
And that's a neutral
But it's double.
fact of
It's
internet life.
double dipping for an internet service provider who's taking money for a service to also sell you to advertisers.
Now, why do you think they need to work with marketing companies to do affiliate marketing when they're already collecting money from?
Because there's not enough money in
bunch
it,
of
or
other
they're
people?
gready.
Well, raise your prices then, dude. Get
Yeah.
a better business
Don't
model.
tell 'em to
but
raise their
don't
prices.
screw around with shady internet marketing
So this
companies.
started before with. They used to do this with DNS error traffic. So you would type in a website that was wrong, and instead of getting a Google or a 404 error that you would normally expect, you'd get one from your internet service provider that would say, perhaps you meant, and they'd make money on that. They'd get clicks and
Don't they
links.
still do that? Like rerouting
They
DNSs to advertising pages?
But you're not. But this is more direct than that.
This is straight up going to the page.
going to the page.
Jolie, so why is Apple, this is what I didn't understand about the story. Apple's got like $70 billion.
Yeah, why would they do this?
Why are they doing this?
Is Apple doing this though? Like, I am not clear that Apple or Bloomingdale's or any of the other keyword companies mentioned know that this is happening. Then again, I'm not sure that they don't know it's happening. You know, how far down that rabbit hole do you want to go? Because you could maybe.
I'm sure they're happy it's happening once they find out, and if they didn't have anything to do with it, thanks.
But
We'll
why-
keep paying because you brought someone here.
Isn't
Regardless,
it kind of a
at the end
pointless
of-
goal
they don't care.
Isn't it a fruitless endeavor to advertise something that isn't actually involved and isn't paying any money to reroute to the
Nope.
site?
Think of how many times, like, there
Well, what
have
if you
been.
went to eBay and bought an Apple computer because the shopping result was right there in the Google search? Then Apple loses revenue. So it is in their best interest, especially when Google is showing shopping results at the very top of the page, to get you away from Google as quickly as possible.
Exactly, especially when you cash in on that result. Now, normally, whatever the percentage is, people just skip by it. But there have been times when I've clicked through something like that, I've gone to the wrong page, and I stopped. I'm like, oh, that's interesting, and it happens to be something relevant to what I was looking for. It isn't what I wanted, but I stopped to check it out before I went where I wanted. Now, if that percentage is 5% of those people they can cash in on, that's good money. Why not try and do it and get away with
You
it?
talked to the Electronic Frontier Foundation, which said that Google's been very aggressive about stopping this.
Well, and Google told me they've been very aggressive about it too, because you know, Google loses when people don't look at their search
Right.
results and their ads.
Right.
So, I mean, lest we think that Google cares about, you know,
No,
internet neutrality,
you're taking
it's
money out of
taking
their
their
pocket.
money away.
Yeah.
So, again, once again, we see this pattern of Google PR trying to make it out like they're the white hats when really they just are losing money because they're not evil enough or something. So they're being pushy with the ISPs that are doing this, And some users are saying, yeah, this doesn't happen with my Google searches anymore.
But it happens on Bing and Yahoo because they're not as aggressive.
Do we have to be aggressive to do the right thing?
Yes.
And
Yes, absolutely.
Yes. This is
Called
America.
Capitalism.
This is America. Look, I will take $20 out of
get
Leo's pocket and not
trounced.
pay it back if I don't have to. I'll tell you that right now, because this is America. Can I borrow $20?
Don't
No
you have
way.
the $200, dude? I saw it in your
Why
card.
you just say? How do you think I got the money? I asked people with money for money.
Can I have
and
some
then
money?
You, Leo, it's in the car. Talk to me after. Why are you gonna rat me out?
Right, Julie, you have to. I mean, you have to play the game because other people are playing. I mean, Google learned this the hard way with the Nortel patents and the Novell patents. They want to get into the mobile space. The mobile space is rife with litigation. If you say we're sitting this one out, then you'll get like competitively
litigated into the
trounced.
ground.
Yeah.
So as soon as you become a corporation in this country, you're compelled at some point to do this.
Well, it's not necessarily be evil. It's not have empathy. Or actually think more strategically and think about your bottom line versus thinking emotionally, as you were talking about earlier.
And that's what Jolie's saying. It's amoral because it's not good or bad.
But at some
You're
point-
acting in the best fiduciary interests of your stakeholders to maximize profits. That's what a corporation does.
But at some point with a story like this, where you're redirecting search traffic, you kind of have to say, okay, because corporations are amoral, because marketing is intended to make money, we need to have some kind of litigation to make sure that companies like Paxfire can't do this crap
Right.
to users.
Or
That
you make a
should
law.
be illegal, yes.
Or you make a law.
I think that should be a law, that you can't redirect search traffic because you feel like it and because you make money from it.
We've got bigger things to deal with than the.
Well,
But we
Like-
also live in a climate in the U.S. especially where it's considered wrong for government to interfere with free enterprise. This is actually a holy tenet of American democracy.
They'd rather
Well,
talk
when
about
free
baseball than
enterprise-
internet.
When enterprise runs rampant and does stupid shit that violates people's expectations and rights even, you have to draw a line somewhere.
We do have antitrust laws in this country, but maybe we don't go far enough in terms of regulating this kind of behavior.
Well, this is just one little thing.
It seems like the FTC
Internet
could weigh
marketing
in on
is
this
all,
easily.
like, especially when you get into affiliate marketing,
Right.
there's some shady crap.
Lots
you
of
can't
it.
litigate it all.
Lots of it.
This is a
Yeah.
precursor of what we're seeing with the net neutrality argument, that eventually, like, people who control the pipeline will be able to pull this kind of shit and not get regulated.
Right. And that would be an FCC issue. So
Speaking of, could I just say the word shit because the ladies keep using it?
I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
of course.
And I haven't.
I was
gotten
hoping
to
that this side of the table could be the
okay, we'll
the
stay calm then.
high-toned
I redact that.
quality
term. I
on
redact.
this side.
Tony,
and the potty
edit
mouths
that.
can sit over there.
Tony, edit that out.
We actually will bloop you if you say
Really?
those words. Yeah.
Okay,
The
sorry.
live folks hear
Feel
it.
free to keep saying I felt left out because normally I'm the one cussing.
I think they actually created a drinking game.
My
This-
mother will not be proud.
Mom,
Stop watching TWiT, Mom.
Mrs. Odell.
No, don't watch it live. Watch it edited. Edited, you're fine. Tony will take care of it. He'll clean it all up.
Does your mom watch this kind of stuff?
No, she has a life, so.
Does she use
That was Leo.
My mom doesn't do
What?
anything on the
You-
internet.
but
My
didn't
mom
you?
doesn't do internet
and see,
stuff.
Now we're not worried about what browser she uses. We know.
I'm getting kicked off.
It's okay. I'm just going to cry. It's okay.
Yes.
I don't mind. The court, this is a very interesting court decision that really impacts free speech. And it's complicated, so I'm going to see if I can explain this. You remember the ICE, the Immigrations and Custom Enforcement arm of the Department of Homeland Security, closed down some sites because of copyright violation. They actually took the domain name. That's how they closed it down. The Spanish company Puerto 80 lost rojadirecta.com and rojadirecta.org. Those names no longer redirect to their sites. Basically, it was a copyright violation asserted by probably American companies, I would guess. The court decided, the Supreme Court, I think that's the highest court in the land, is it not? Actually, let me check who this was that did this. All this fine print is confusing me. Which court was it? The court that decided this, and I think it was the Supreme Court, said. No, it wasn't the Supreme Court.
It was the New York court.
It was New York Court of Appeals. Was that who did it?
Oh, and then the Supreme Court.
Then the Supreme Court has some other issues. But the court that ruled this said it is not a violation of their free speech. They can simply redirect to another site. They can say, no, you can still do that. Just buy a new domain name. We took your domain name, but because you have other ways to publish, we aren't blocking your free speech. Now, this is where some other Supreme Court decisions get involved. A 1939 case in which the Supreme Court said, just because you can exercise your free speech elsewhere doesn't mean that anybody has the right to abridge your free speech in one place.
That's just like going on a march or something and they say, oh, well, you can say whatever you want to, just go back home and say it. Don't say it in this open park.
In a 1979 case, the U.S. Supreme Court said, we are aware of no general principle that freedom of speech may be abridged when the speaker's listeners could come by this message by some other means.
However, last year when ICE confiscated a bunch of those domains, and everyone was complaining, like, these same entities were complaining, like, oh no, they just went and set up shop somewhere else. How dare they? We told them they were violating copyright or whatever the hell it was at the time. Whatever it was at the time, excuse my language.
It's the U.S. District Court, Southern District of
So
New
now
York
they're saying the
versus
thing we
Puerto
complained
AD.
about, okay, you can do that so that you can say we're not violating your free speech rights.
This is really yes. This is really a bad decision by a judge who clearly doesn't understand how the internet works, which is not unusual.
Is there a list of the domains that they took?
Yeah, and in fact, this company.
Time?
Yeah, there's a couple of them. But what's funny is that this company has, in fact, created new sites with slightly different domain names, but they have no way of telling their viewers.
Yeah, you can't
you go
redirect
to RojaDirecta1.com and you'll be able to watch this.
Yeah, it was taken from you. You can't redirect.
And then they just have that big Homeland Security seal when you go to the original domain.
Right.
Not like they're nice enough to do a redirect.
The judge said, RojaDirecta has a large internet presence and can simply distribute information about the seizure and its new domain to its customers.
Well, what's to say that they won't come after the second domain if they shut the first one down? This is just the silliest.
Well, I think they're responding
to
a free speech defense, and they're saying, well, no, your free speech hasn't been abridged. But
and then the copyright thing is weird as well, because it's got discussion forums, and RojaDirecta is saying, but our discussion forums are user-generated content. Please let
We're not responsible. In the same way YouTube is not responsible, right? I would love to see a court say, YouTube, we're taking the name youtube.com, but you can always use othertube.com.
Were they using DMCAs to get rid of the user-generated content that was violating copyrights?
Maybe they weren't doing the takedowns or something like that. But, you know, the problem is they're not a U.S. company. So the rules are different. In fact, a Spanish court ruled that what they were doing was not illegal. They were not violating copyright.
So
it's only the
how
U.S.
does a U.S. government organization get off taking them off the internet?
This is my point. They don't have time to regulate marketers taking over my computer while they're stealing websites from companies.
This is what ICE has been
That
doing.
are outside U.S.
Yeah, they're too
jurisdiction.
busy for that.
This is what ICE is now doing, is that somebody will complain from the movie industry, or the record industry, or the television industry, and ICE will say, no problem, because in the U.S., we'll just make sure that they don't have that domain name and it doesn't work in the U.S. anymore. And that takes them off the air. Problem solved. And they're doing it a lot, and it's really, it's actually very scary. And the fact that a court upheld their ability to do that is even more terrifying.
So they're not taking them off the internet. They're actually redirecting them to the ICE.
Yeah.
Right,
We
right.
get Department of Homeland Security. This site has been taken down. Go to RojaDirecta.com.
I'm not going there. I'm not trying to be tracked by the government. Actually, I can do it here because I'm using your internet.
Yeah,
so.
use my internet, because, you know,
They come
God
crashing through the
knows.
windows. I don't have a
God
problem.
knows they know
That
we're
would
out
make for
there.
a great show, too.
I know. The NSA comes a knocking.
Wouldn't that be fun?
Freedom fighting? Yeah.
Yeah. Let's fight for freedom.
Do it on Monday when I'm not here.
Novel idea. World Wide Web 20 years old this week. Yesterday, actually.
Yeah, we had 802.11 this week.
What?
We had 802.11.
Oh, that's right. August 2nd, 2011.
Yep.
And nobody said anything about
I
it.
tweeted about it. I got mad retweets, yo. Everybody was retweeting it.
Oh,
was like,
doctor discovered
I
something
have to Google
important.
this.
It's
I know.
802011.
What's that?
Is there something in his cup besides water?
I wish there were. Let's take a break. We're going to come back with more. I want to talk a little bit about Defcon and Black Hat, because the hackers are gathering in Las Vegas, and we'll find out what's going on there. What would you like in your mug? Would you like a little whiskey?
Sure. Actually, no. I have to drive someone else home.
Oh.
I'm responsible for someone else's life this evening.
I can drive, and you can read to me.
Okay. Drunk, I can read to you. That would
Or
be amazing.
he could drive and we give you whiskey. Which would you get to fight it out. Meanwhile, let's talk a little bit about Audible Audible.com. So you don't really need Alexia. You can have Audible read to you everywhere you drive. Do you use Audible, Owen?
I do.
Do you really? Go ahead, have a drink. Relax, enjoy yourself.
I will.
Do you have a book recommendation you'd like to give us, or is there something you've been listening to lately?
The last thing I want to say read. The last thing I listened to was Rework from.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, the guys.
37 Signals.
37 Signals.
Yeah. The thing that always weirds me out is like when you know someone, like I've met him a couple times at conferences, and then you hear the person reading it. I almost want the person reading it to be him. Like, I wish you actually sounded like this, because this guy sounds awesome.
Sometimes authors aren't always the best readers, but so Audible's pretty good about this. They know who should read their own books and who shouldn't.
Yeah.
If you go to audible.com right now, we're going to give you a chance to get 2 free audiobooks from audible.com. Actually, go to audible.com/twit2. That's the platinum account. You can sign up for that. Every month you get 2 books. Of course, the issue is what book do we choose? And the thing is, there's so many fantastic choices. There's a couple of great Google books out right now. Of course, Stephen Levy's In the Plex, which is fantastic. And Douglas Edwards' new one. We just had Douglas on This Week in Google on Wednesday. He was Google employee number 59. He talks about early days of Google. Now, if you're somebody who wants to know why Google is the way it is and how it got there, these are 2 excellent books. Really a great inside look. Gary Vaynerchuk's Thank You Economy is on here. That's another great book. Now, in this case, Gary reads it because you know what? No one could read Gary's prose except Gary.
Yeah, it's actually nice that they made Gary read a book, because Gary.
Harper Audio presents The Thank You Economy.
Listen to him.
If it was going to read something, it might as well be his own book.
This is the author.
But I do understand, because nobody's going to get hyped like Gary. It's true. The guy says he doesn't read books, but he writes books.
But I write books.
Yeah, and then you're like, you want me to read? Well,
read a book.
How about you read it to me?
Listen to it.
How about you read it to me, Gary? Because I don't have time to read books.
Go Jets. So this is just one of many great books. Actually, 3 now. I've given you 3 of many great books. Everything. Now, those are business, but of course they've got science fiction. They've got classics. They've got history, mysteries, and thrillers. Jolie, what's your favorite kind of reading? What do you like to read when you don't have to read for work?
Us Weekly.
Wow.
They do have many.
I need to hang out with you on the weekends.
We can talk trash about.
You like
Lindsay
gossip,
Lohan,
celebrity gossip?
You know, I spend so much time reading patent law.
You don't want to read serious stuff.
And yeah, this is how I annoy.
Well, don't
tell anybody.
There's actually a lot of great celebrity books on here as well. You know, Bossy Pants. Tina Fey's new book is on here.
What? That's probably awesome.
Yeah, there's a lot of great stuff. I'm telling you, if you have not tried Audible, and by the way, when you get the Platinum account, you will also get a subscription. You can get the New York Times read to you. You can get the Wall Street Journal read to you. That comes with your account. So this is a really great deal. Go to audible.com/twit2. Your first month is free. Your first 2 books are free, and they're yours to keep forever. Cancel at any time. The Secrets of the FBI by Ronald Kessler. Now, this sounds kind of interesting. Did you know the FBI had secrets? Who knew?
I don't want to talk about that.
Audible.com/twit2. We love them. I love Audible. I'm listening to a great book about Bobby Fischer right now called Endgame that Andy Anako recommended. It's so fantastic.
You're always listening to Audible books too. Like,
I live on Audible.
The 2 times you gave me a ride, we get in and it's just like, and blah, blah, blah. It just kicks right into gear.
This is the one I'm listening to. It's I'm a big chess fan, and this is an amazing book if you're interested in chess. Or Bobby Fischer. He was just a wild man.
I watched that movie. I didn't read the book.
Searching for Bobby Fischer? Yeah, it's great. They have that too. Audible.com/twit2. We thank them for their support of This Week in Tech. So how come nobody went to Defcon or Black Hat?
I wanted to go.
One of our guys there.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dean Takahashi from
Dean's
VentureBeat. Yeah, he went to Vegas for Black Hat and Defcon. I don't think
it's
they
funny,
allow
Alexia,
girls
that
there.
you said that because both you and Jolie have independently said you wanted to go.
I wanted to go. I was talking to the Cloudflare CEO, and I think he gave a talk about security, and I was like, this is a little bit interesting. But
there's a lot of interesting stuff. So one of the things they showed was a couple of hackers showed how they could send a text message to a Subaru Outback.
I saw that.
Unlock the car, start the engine, all from a text message.
I need that. I need 2 of those.
I think actually that's really interesting. That I mean, so many cars now are connected. They created a fake GSM what do they call it, a hotspot, and the car got on it as if it were a real cell phone site, and they said, "Hey, car, open up," and they got in and took a ride. Now, there's two conferences. The Black Hat conference is the more serious conference. Suit and ties, a lot of feds there, a lot of white hat hackers, and then there's Defcon, which is definitely a little more, dark side. Shady. Apparently, according to CBS News, the feds hang around after Black Hat, and they go to Defcon to recruit.
Yeah, they need some skilled players for a team.
They're recruiting because, they need players for cyber warfare, basically.
Remember that spot on Good Will Hunting when they're trying to get Will to work for the NSA? And he's like, "Why would I work for the NSA?" And he's like, "Why wouldn't you work for the NSA?" So they're out there recruiting. They need smart people, young people that are useful to do bad things.
Here's another unfortunate hack. A Black Hat hacker can remotely attack insulin pumps.
That's a problem.
Didn't they prove that was a lie? I mean, wasn't there? I didn't go in depth into the story because it looked like how do I not curse with this?
Well, no one's ever. You cursed. It looked like BS. You can say
Feel
BS.
free.
BS.
Most
It looked
of
like
these
BS.
hacks, like in most cases, well, in this case in particular, is there a way to profit from killing a diabetic wearing an insulin pump?
No, but if you don't like him,
if not,
or if
it's
you're a
probably
terrorist.
really
a terrorist.
do that en masse, though.
We will kill all the diabetics.
It would probably require a high level of skill, and there would have to be some opportunity for profit for anybody to get worried about that.
I think a lot of these hacks are, in fact, unlikely to occur. But it's
it's one of those
fascinating, and people love this attack.
It's like talent show for hackers.
It is a talent
show.
show.
Do it because I can. Like, look what I can do.
His presentation was
That's what
called
you should do.
"Hacking Medical Devices for Fun and Insulin."
Because there's no profit in it, which is why people haven't done it already.
By the way, he's a diabetic, does wear an insulin pump. I guess that was his interest in this. He's not anti-diabetics.
Yeah.
He are one. It requires an antenna, but a powerful antenna. Attacker could be as far as half a mile away.
So the best thing is you hack something and then someone hires you to defend what you hacked.
Well, I think also a lot of times that's what the point is of this is
It's like
that
a job interview.
we don't secure these things, right? And we pay no attention to security. And a lot of these hackers are saying, pay attention. Pay attention.
Well, it's like I feel like this is how they get their jobs. It's like they find a security hole in the system, and then the company hires them to fill the security hole.
Yeah, as long as they don't go to jail for it.
Do you think that guy wants to work for Medtronics?
Maybe.
Who wouldn't want to work for Medtronics?
It was so funny. Some guy gave a keynote at, I believe it was Defcon, about how we need to pay more attention to security and we're being way too complacent, especially about national cybersecurity. And some kind of alarm went off in the middle of his talk, and he was like, "Just ignore that. We're going to keep going."
We're way too complacent. It's just a fire. Pay no attention. Germany's not happy about Facebook. Germany's not happy about anything.
Didn't they also sue Google?
Yeah, and remember that sometimes they call it blurmany because they've required that Google Street View allow homeowners to blur the images of their home if they want.
And do you know what the funny thing is? Like, when you're in Germany, like, it's like free love, free sex 60s over there. Like, they just do what they want to do. Everybody's happy and cool.
Jeff Jarvis talks about that. No, Jeff Jarvis
is going to the Love Festival in Berlin, right?
No, seriously. When I was in Germany, I had my head on a swivel looking for skinheads and crazy white people, and everybody was there, was more than happy. The age of consent is like low. Not that I took that level. I'm just letting you know, young people can drink there. There's all kinds of things that are just loosey-goosey about, and it's like, oh, well, we don't want Facebook looking at faces of children.
It's the company it's the country history. It's you have to think when judging the German problems with privacy. You have to consider that they've had
Jeff Jarvis says it's
a lot
more
of
than
problems
that.
with data.
That in Europe, in Europe they don't trust corporations; they trust government. In the U.S., we were talking about this earlier. We don't trust government; we trust corporations. Who's smarter in this case? I don't know. But the Germans believe that that Google is going to, or Facebook is going to do something with that facial recognition software, and they're suggesting there should be fines of up to 300,000 euros if they don't comply.
They're just trying to fill their bank accounts because they lent out too much money and their economy's weak. So like, let's get some money from Zuckerberg.
They're rich. They can deal with it.
Let's get some influx of cash.
It's almost anti-corp. It's just kind of an endemic anti-corporate sentiment, I think, in all of the EU. But it does raise an interesting issue, and maybe we should ask Alexia and Jolie, because they're probably more at risk of this. But, you know, Google did have in their Google Goggles capability, they took out the face recognition capability because they said it would be dangerous. Now, nobody's going to walk down the street and take a picture of Odocta and say, oh, that's Odocta, I'm following them home. But I think women are very legitimately concerned about stalkers taking their pictures in tools like this, or using Facebook and tools like this to get personal information. Isn't that a real concern?
I think anybody who's concerned with privacy, Americans I don't think are as concerned with privacy, but if you value your private life remaining private, facial recognition software is a big problem.
Well, especially
you can't go anywhere without people saying, oh, Jolie went to the grocery store and she went to 7-Eleven and here's her house. And
I take it you don't use Foursquare.
No, I don't.
Well, see,
I absolutely don't.
I'm a lot lazier. I think that there's a barrier to entry in someone snapping a picture of me, and I'm relatively public.
Right.
All right. So I think there's a huge barrier to entry, and this might be extremely naive. And go ahead, call me out on it. But who's going to snap a picture of me and then use facial recognition software to find out that this is my Facebook page and, like, I don't know, hack into my Facebook, pretend to be my friend, and then find my address and show up?
Well, you better hope that if there is somebody that does that, that's the person you really want to worry about.
Admittedly, it's a fringe case, but the people who would do it are creepers.
Well, here's the problem. The people that are going to do it are going to do it anyway. I don't know if you're old, you're long in the tooth. You know about peeping toms.
Stalked.
But you know about peeping toms.
But it would be harder for them to find your online life and your friends and your family.
It'd be easier to walk down the street and just pick a cute girl and follow her home, and I know where she lives at. I mean, if a person's going to stalk you, they're going to stalk you, and crazy people are going to do crazy things.
But you want to give people, enable them with digital tools to be creepy.
Again, my point is when someone wants to do something, if they're that type of person, you can't really stop them. Like when I talk to girls about Facebook, or Foursquare, I say check in on your way out. Don't check in on your way in. And don't check in the same places every day. Like, I go to the gym on Tuesdays, the Starbucks on Wednesdays, because that's a stalker's dream. It's like, hey, I'm a chloroform at 3 o'clock on Wednesday.
No,
I'm saying in general. But but if you're trying to put yourself out there, you are putting yourself out there.
Well, on the flip side of this whole thing, what's the benefit for facial recognition software?
Oh, I'll tell you, because I'm old.
Tell me.
As Doctor has
long in the tooth
several times now.
Old man Leo. Old man Leo.
I don't know nothing
at all.
I just keep on
chugging along.
You know, Jolie's an opera singer. We shouldn't be messing with her.
Sorry. I apologize to everyone who had to hear that.
I did not. I found this out on your Facebook profile. You stalker!
There you go. Okay, the best thing about the internet is that it's people, and the worst thing about the internet is that it's people. And you can give them digital tools, or you can give them actual tools to stalk you or kill you or rape you. It's the same percentage.
Or advertise to you. Jesus, I consider that a far
rape your eyes with their advertisements.
I cannot talk about it, but I am on the jury trial right now that involves the use of the internet. And it's fascinating in a couple of things, and you're not allowed to talk about it until after the trial.
Till after the show.
No, not at all. Until
so
after.
Tell me more about this jury.
I will tell you
trial.
after the trial. I will tell you all about it. But what I found interesting, first of all, was the depth of ignorance that 99% of the people, not just the jurors, but the lawyers, the judge, have about the internet. Period. Just completely. What is this Facebook thing you speak of? Amazing. But
people do have lives, as she said. Her mother.
I know, and I think we live in a bubble. We live in a bubble we have a very different perception of tech.
I didn't use Google Plus till 2 days ago.
I would use Google Goggles because, as an old person, I forget people's names all the time.
So
having a little thing.
Hold on.
No.
Hey, Leo, what's up?
No, but it's only a matter of time before, if they allowed Google to do this, if Google weren't afraid of facial recognition, that I could have a little camera on my chest or something, and that would just say, and I have a little earpiece, and you'd think it was a hearing aid, and say, that's Jolie Odell, you worked with her in 1999. And it would just tell me, and I'd say, oh, hi, Jolie. How are you? She's an opera singer. How's the singing going? And that would be useful to me. All right.
It would be better just to know fewer people, maybe.
I've
as we did before the
Hopefully,
it's just a Shazam for faces. That would be
it's
very.
It's a Shazam for faces.
There you go. It'd be like boom.
Wouldn't
Shazam.
you like that?
That sounds awesome.
No.
Wouldn't even a young person with a good memory like that?
There was a guy yesterday who I've seen 17 times and I don't remember his name.
You do that all the time.
That's what you do. Oh, hey, you.
That's right. Hey, buddy.
I wait for
What's
someone
up,
else
fella?
to introduce. Like I bring up a friend and I'm like,
Oh, yeah.
meet.
See,
that
women have
person.
tricks for this stuff.
No, exactly. The trick is
Always bring a
you
friend.
introduce the one person you know, and you let the other person introduce themselves. Or do you say, "Hey, do you two know each other?" And the person says, "Hi, I'm such and such," and you're like, "Oh yeah, that's your name, Leo."
Would you say, and you are, and you would be your name? The problem is, you know, I see these people all the time. I've seen them 100 times. I know them, and they always, it's because they work at Starbucks. It's always not really that you really care. It's just that you, right?
Well, you could just
they're not
be
really a person you know, or you
jerk
would know
off
their
and
name.
Say, oh, one meets so many people.
Yes, I'm so sorry. I meet so many people in my business. I love this story that Alexia wrote about Facebook now allows you to add your unborn baby to your list of family members via a new option called Expected Child.
I'm excited. I've got 32 unborn children on this list.
You know,
I'm looking for women to impregnate.
You know,
I got 4.
Oh my God,
I need
where did I lose
33 more women.
Oh my God.
I need 33 more volunteers, and we can start making these babies real.
Oh, doctor, when they say 23 in me, that doesn't mean 23 children
Come
in me.
on, Leo. Look, I got unexpected babies. I got to fulfill this contract, Leo. It's on Facebook. It's got to happen.
This is good business, though, isn't it?
It's the most like well thought out lead gen strategy I've seen.
Just tell
from
us
an
about
internet company.
your upcoming Facebook customer.
It's like doubling. They're gonna reach that billion users.
It's brilliant.
Well, parenting is a huge business.
I love watching Mark Zuckerberg because it is true, whether you feel he's evil or not. And I do actually personally think that he's a little scary.
Oh my God. Okay, wait.
You guys know him, so I don't
Headline:
know.
Leo Laporte. Mark Zuckerberg's evil.
I think
I can write this right now.
I think he is evil.
Race ya.
I think he is evil. But I only have a sense of it. I don't know him, and maybe he's a very nice guy. He's definitely very, very smart and remarkably adept at coming up with crap like this, right?
Did he come up with that? I
Well,
don't
see,
know
here's the
that on
thing.
him.
Like,
Here's
you
what
keep
I
blaming
think.
him.
Okay,
He's not.
If you're single, Facebook advertises dating sites women with large boobs at 2 a.m.
Yes.
If you are dating, they advertise wedding crap and engagement rings. And
can
if
I give
they can
you?
tell that you're expecting, that's another billion-dollar industry.
Can I give you
There's
a
no- can
little
get
insight into what it's
advertising
like
money
to
for
be
it.
me? When I go to Facebook, they offer me Viagra.
Well, no. Here's the thing about the expecting thing. Like, I have.
That's
a
why I
daughter.
don't use Facebook anymore.
I have a daughter. I have a child. I post pictures. I tell my friends and family like stuff that we do, and they never try to pitch me kid stuff. They never try to pitch me any of that.
Is she added in your family members?
I don't have her on Facebook personally.
No, I mean, in your family, there's a place on Facebook
with
where
the-
you
for
fill out
the
who's in
brother,
your
sister
family,
thingy?
And I guarantee you, if you said you had a young child, that they would be pushing ads.
Okay,
maybe they'll just advertise it to moms because they figured
I
dads
gotta
don't
point
care.
out-
Maybe that's what they're doing.
I got to
Yeah.
point out, though, that this happens anyway when you go to a hospital and you have a baby, you give them all that information. I'm still 19 years later getting things about my daughter, Abby, like, oh, you're 19 now. Perhaps you'd be interested. The Army just sent Henry, my 16-year-old son, a little, would you like some Army memorabilia, perhaps a hat or a T-shirt? Because
good
they
Lord.
know. Everybody's keeping track.
Can I show you something?
Facebook's just one of...
It's the digital equivalent of traditional user acquisition strategy.
Exactly.
Can I show you
But it's
something?
it's smart.
I was engaged, and I changed my relationship status to engaged, and then changed it back to not engaged when I stopped being engaged. And then Facebook rammed me with ads for wedding dresses for 6 months after that. And I thought, this is the craziest.
That's actually mean.
It was so cruel.
That's
it was
mean.
so cruel.
Look at that.
CEO at a...
No, that line right there.
Angry Hippo. That's your birthday.
What's the date say?
October 17th, 1949.
Yeah, and they don't send me anything about Viagra.
You're not older than me, dude.
Yeah, I am. Black don't crack. I look
That is
good.
the first time I've heard black don't crack.
It don't.
Thank you.
It don't. Stay
Thank
smooth.
you for that
boy, look.
image.
You see this head? I'm shining over here. Good to go.
I thought it'd be interesting to have a diverse panel.
You know you shouldn't have me
Diverse,
here.
2 women and a black guy?
Yeah. There's usually never any women, and he doesn't know any other black people.
That's pretty diverse. Don't you think that's diverse?
I'm the only black person Leo knows. I'm like the black sheep of the family. That's
You're
why I
the
call Uncle
token
Leo. That's right.
black guy on the
I
show.
will take it.
No, there's
And-
others.
I know. There's like 2.
There's Baratunde.
Yeah, but people, the best thing about the show is
they think you're Baratunde.
And they think Baratunde is me. All next week, they're going to be like, Baratunde, good to see you on TWiT. And he's like, that was O'Doctor, the other black guy. And I had to do the same thing. When he's on, I'm like, you're on TWiT. I'm like, I wasn't on TWiT.
It's actually
It happens. There's only 3 of us, so you take your shot in the dark.
There's Tristan Walker. You can invite Tristan from Foursquare.
Please, I would like to.
Very intelligent.
I would like to.
Unlike me. So nobody laughs at that because it's not a joke.
It's true.
No, we're all
sincere. We're so sincere.
We're desperately trying to come up with a one-liner to go along with that.
Crickets.
Robot car accident. That's pretty funny.
A dude was driving it.
I know, that's even funnier. If it had been a robot, it wouldn't have had an accident.
See, that's one of those human interest. I don't know really if I'm...
It's not a tech story.
Interesting?
You're saying it's not a tech story?
I'm saying people crash cars. I mean, did they
It's just a fender bender. Jalopnik got the story.
Well, that makes sense for Jalopnik, but...
Yeah, it's a car website.
Yeah.
Google spokesperson. Safety is our top priority. One of our goals is to prevent fender benders like this one, which occurred while a person was manually driving the car.
I'm telling you, Google socks one day.
One of the goals of our product is to prevent the accidents caused by our product.
Actually, the interesting story is it was a pretty bad... I think the car must have been going pretty fast because he rear-ended another car. 3 other cars got involved. It was a 4-car accident.
Was this in San Francisco the other night?
I don't know. What, you ran into some traffic?
No, there was a guy who was speeding down the street in a Prius, ping-ponged off like 3 or 4 cars, and apparently he got pulled over for drinking and driving earlier, and then like ran from the cops, and then got away from them, went to another bar, drank, and then went out again and hit a whole bunch of cars and got caught.
That wouldn't have happened if he'd had a robot driver.
True story.
Or a robot drinker.
Yeah.
You got to take your choice. Google's Prius struck another Prius. It was one of these Google auto driving cars, which then struck a Honda Accord, which then struck another Honda Accord. It was like
apparently he doesn't like Honda.
No, no, it's Mountain View. If you go down there, it's either Priuses or Honda Accords. You don't have any other choices. That's it. They're all you won't see any Jeeps down there. 4-car chain reaction.
That must have been such a ridiculous situation. Like, how does the guy explain? Oh, it's actually a robot driving car, but like,
right?
Who gets the ticket?
Here's the picture from the Jalopnik picture. The guy. I don't know.
A lot of khaki there.
I would love to be hit by that thing. I would be suing Google left and right. My neck, my back, everything hurts. My ear.
Your robot got peanut butter in my chocolate.
Even if I was responsible for it, I'm suing the robot. You can't talk back. It's a robot.
Well, that is one of the actual serious issues this raises. If a robot is driving your car and the human is sitting there but not with the hands on the wheel, you can't ticket the robot. You ticket the human, right?
Do you?
Of course you do.
You ticket Google.
Well, why are you going to get a ticket if
Somebody's
the robot is
responsible.
driving your car? How is the robot going to get a
Somebody's
ticket?
responsible.
If Google works out all the kinks, there should be no such thing as the need to ticket a robot car. I would like to have this robot car.
Would you? It's interesting. Would you actually, if a car drove itself, you would feel?
I love driving. I got a little convertible the other day, and it's a manual, and I just love the feeling of driving my car. But if I were
what
not,
kind of car are you driving?
Oh, it's a little white Miata. It's great.
Oh, how
we'll
cute.
go for a spin
with the top and oh, that's great. That's
yeah,
nice.
but that's because I love cars and driving.
Right.
Normal people like getting to the place that they're going to without too much bother. And
you know that, of course, if robots drove cars, there would be far fewer accidents.
Yes.
There would be far fewer traffic jams because they'd space themselves logically.
Haven't you had to reboot your phone in the last month or something?
Yeah, what are you talking about?
You
What world
trust
do we live in?
robots like that? What are you talking about?
They would pace themselves.
Hey, so could you get a robot to watch my kid? I mean, because robots never fail or anything. You know?
I play one video on this and it explodes and
you
like
kind
gets into
of
my...
feel like though they can screw up with phones, but I think they know when it comes to cars, those kinds of they have to have more fail safes than that.
I don't know.
Than they would for a phone.
We
or a
can't even get that many
computer.
cars with that auto park thing going on. So once they get that in every car and it's standard, then I'll trust robots to drive my car.
Okay.
When you don't have to spend $80,000 on a Lexus to get to go. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Actually, Ford cars do that now.
Alexia wrote
some of the Ford cars do that.
a great article. Eric Schmidt's Google's
Google Pants.
His e-commerce fantasy, you called it.
I love Eric Schmidt. I wish he lived with me so he could just tell me crazy stuff.
He's a character. Schmidt says it's a new Twitter. Yeah.
It's like you're driving in your car and your car somehow knows that you need a new pair of pants because you're not wearing any pants. And the car is like, where's
Wait a
the
minute,
pants?
he said...
How does he drive? Oh my God.
I don't want to know how he drives,
we can play
actually.
The clip. It's
Things I
insane.
didn't
All
want to
right,
know
let me
about.
play. This is the clip. I have the clip here.
The journalist just started laughing. Like,
He
they're
needs a
trying-
robot,
How do you
obviously.
keep a straight face when Schmidt's telling you he doesn't drive with pants?
Eric Schmidt from TechCrunch is
He needs a robot to drive him around.
e-commerce. Oh, wait a minute. There's an advertisement. Hold on a second.
Of course there's an advertisement.
Here we go. Listen.
So think of it in the following way. So you are driving down the street, and again, this is all opt-in with your permission, all that, and your phone,
Can I hear it?
somehow the phone knows you need new pants. So either because you told it or just on timer or whatever. So it realizes there's a pants store on the left, a pants store on the right. Through Google Offers, there's an offer for a 15% discount on the left and a 20% discount on the right. The computer concludes that you should turn right. It says turn right for your pants or whatever. You park. You walk into the store. The system understands you walked into the store person brings out the correct size pants for you. You take their phone, you tap and pay, they hand you the pants, and you walk out the store. Again, all opt-in, you've chosen this, and so forth and so on. Now, to pull that off, you've got to have the NFC chip. The Android phones have this version of the Android phone has the NFC chip in it. We are in the process of summer.
You can't be wearing any pants. He is a strange bird, isn't he?
How do you buy pants if you're not wearing pants?
How does he have that?
Yeah, how do you get to
fantasy?
go into the store?
How does he have this thing? So he says that on the left is 60%, on the right is 40%. Your phone says turn right because you get a better deal on the pants.
And then you go into the store, and the store somehow knows that you're
And the
walking
person
in and
brings
needs
you out
pants.
the pants.
Oh, yes. Hello, sir. We see you need pants.
I'm sure they take you to the back as soon as you walk in the door and say that, or they kick you out.
He is legendary for his just strange utterances.
Where he said that
Well,
people
then
need
you
to change
need
their name. He made a joke that people should just change their name
Yeah.
at 18
Yeah,
to
when you get to be
avoid
18.
their Google history.
Right, exactly.
And it was a joke. I mean, in the same conversation, he starts the conversation with the reporters at Sun Valley saying, like, ha ha ha, reporters tend to take what I say out of context. For example, I was joking about how people need to change their names or get plastic surgery or whatever they need to do to avoid their life of Google shame. And then he goes into saying this crazy pants stuff. And I love the idea. I mean, what he's talking about is basically like closing the deal loop, or a customer knowing, having a desire and having the store fill the desire through like mobile GPS technology and then NFC and then like, I don't know, Google Wallet, which is coming out in the fall. And so technology-wise, it's possible if everything works.
Yeah.
Now, knowing what I know about retail and the cash register system, the credit card system, why is this going to work so seamlessly?
Why don't I have Amazon Prime and don't I have like
But can't you
Zappos, like next day delivery? Can't I wait for pants?
Can't you go right now into some places in San Francisco? I can't remember what the coffee shop is. If they have that little square thing where you go in,
you fob it.
Sightglass coffee.
It's what is it? Sightglass?
Sightglass.
Yeah. Have you used it?
No, I haven't, and I want to. And
So tell us how that works.
So I think you go. It's
on your phone.
It's
or?
on your phone, but for Sightglass, I think they just have a Square dongle, so they accept credit card payments.
But there's
through
more than that. Where there are companies now that Square enables.
Card case.
It recognizes this case on your phone. It says you came in. Oh, Alexia, you like what is this? A skinny vanilla latte. Actually, this is Jolie's. Jolie, you like a skinny vanilla latte. It starts making it for you. It charges you automatically, and it gives you when you walk in, it's like your pants.
Look,
it gives you the latte.
I'm deeply uncomfortable with this whole use of technology to solve these flimsy little first world problems.
Is it really a big problem?
I can't remember what kind of latte I like.
That's a good point.
Like, why are we
what is
devoting
commerce
so much
if not a bunch of
energy?
first world problems? Come on, don't be a snob.
No, well, see,
I'm not being a
it's
snob.
not even being a
I'm just
First
like,
world problems. Ooh.
You know, we need to solve commercial problems to a point, but then
We
I
need
think
to
we're
solve
getting a little
world
effing
hunger.
ridiculous.
It's
a little ridiculous.
She has a point. There's a lot of effort put into things like not having to speak to the barista.
Well, let's put it this way: if you go somewhere
it's cool,
all the time,
and it saves time, and it saves time.
If you go somewhere all the time, what is called is good customer service.
Yeah.
There are a lot of places that I go to where, trust me, I'm big, I eat, they know what I want. I walk in the door like, hey, whip it up, get them, there we go. I don't need nothing on my phone.
you know.
They see my face, they know me in there.
You know.
I mean, people take interest, you know?
There will be an article in the Des Moines Register in 6 months saying San Francisco yuppies figure out way to avoid ordering coffee and mocking it because
Well,
it's only in
doesn't
San
it kind of take
Francisco.
the humanity out of life? when you make your
You gotta
technology do
understand
everything
geeks.
for you.
Geeks don't really want to have interfaces with.
Well, it is scary. I'm a deeply shy person, so I get that.
Yeah, you're an introvert.
I am an
Introverts.
introvert.
This is remember
But when you
all of
use
this stuff is designed by
technology-
people who are deeply introverted.
But when you use that to avoid human contact, it just makes the introversion worse to the point that you are afraid to leave your house and get in a car.
And
I love this buying pants is not a preferable human interaction comment. Yes, why? Okay, sure, interact in a coffee shop or in a library or someplace where there's a shared interest. But are you really going to become best friends with the person who buys
for pants,
sells you
there's
the
eBay.
pants?
No, here's the point. At some point, all that stuff will go away. I was at the movie theater the other night, and the girl that was giving me my popcorn and soda had an attitude. She was having a bad day. I'm like, having a bad day? She's like, yeah. I said, well, you should be happy you have a job. A lot of people don't even have a job. She's like, yeah, I guess. I'm like, well, I'm spending $20 for popcorn, so I'm keeping you in a job. And she's like, I guess you're not really keeping me in a
I'm not
job.
getting that money.
And I'm like, well, if everybody stopped coming here to get popcorn from you because you have an attitude, I can go to a machine next week and get one that won't say anything. Yeah. So I'd perk up if I were you because you'll be fired. Like, it's all relative, and it's nice to talk to people and to get
goes
service
back
from
to
people.
a fantasy.
I like looking at you, not so much him. You too,
This
not so
goes-
much him. He's called me ugly like 4 times this episode.
I did not say you were ugly.
You did too. Ask the chat room. Poor Owen.
You did.
Beautiful ladies. Poor Owen. That's what I keep saying.
This goes back to a fantasy, a commerce fantasy that's ancient. That remember we'd have internet-connected refrigerators, and when you ran out of milk, the milk would come. Peapod would deliver your milk to the door, right?
I think the fantasy is on the brand's side.
It's
where
the brands who love
you
this
don't
idea.
have to want something.
Right.
They'll just buy it for you.
We know what you want, and we'll
Yeah.
make sure you get it.
Good God, like, does anybody even really have to want anything? We have so many, like, here's a discovery commerce app. Like, no, we need less of that.
Isn't that
That's really bad.
Part of the problem
We'll give
is
you more crap to want.
innovation has to be driven by something. And it is, at least in this country, most often driven by commercial interest, right? That we're not going to do it unless there's some money to be made.
It's not a charity.
Well, yeah, I think you can do good things that solve real problems and still make money from them. And I don't think making money is as problematic when you're solving a problem that everyone has.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, it comes from the Jetsons. Like, who didn't watch the Jetsons and think it was amazingly cool?
I want a conveyor belt to walk my dog on. I'm looking for it, and we wouldn't be caring about
hoverboard.
We wouldn't care about flying cars if it weren't for the Jetsons.
Jolie, we're going to trade in your cute little car for a bicycle. We're going to send you to Africa to dig wells. You are going to save the world, and I'm going to watch you do it. So who wants her car? Because we're going to take, that's the first thing we're taking.
I think he has dibs.
Okay.
Okay.
I do have dibs. No, I have very happy with my Mustang. Thank you very much.
So I think the SightGlass doesn't do pre-ordering yet. They will. It's that one AT&T commercial. You will.
You will. Yeah. You know, though, on that "you will" commercial, like 9 out of 10 things they got.
Except it wasn't made by AT&T.
Oh.
Like, I mean, they got it.
AT&T didn't make anything.
It had nothing to do with it.
I watched that commercial. I'm like, really?
Those are great commercials.
Oh, okay.
Almost everything except video phone calls. The one thing that AT&T could have done, that was the one thing that really didn't happen. I guess it's happening now with Skype.
Yeah.
Did anybody? I always do this poll. Anybody make video phone calls?
I just made 2. Yes.
You do?
Yeah, I do. And just for the novelty factor.
On your phone?
Oh no.
On Skype?
On Facebook and on Google Plus.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have the Skype app on my phone, and I have not yet had a reason to use it because
I don't think people really want to do that.
Shy,
Leo?
don't care.
But even if you weren't, I mean, what kind of person I want to see?
I tell you.
I would do it with my family.
Listen, I tell you. I call my daughter every 3 days when I travel.
And you use a video.
And I use FaceTime. And you know what the crazy
guess
thing
that would
is?
be good.
She's so used to it because she has her own iPod Touch, so I call her on her phone.
Right.
Like, when I say, give me a hug, she hugs the phone, dude. And it is the cutest. Like, I'm a big... And it just makes me so... I'm like, oh, and then
That's
she
either
kisses
deeply touching or deeply sad.
No,
I can't figure out.
it's cute because
The cat's in the cradle and the silver spoon. Little boy blue and the man in the moon.
Look.
When you're coming home, Dad, I gave you an iPod Touch. What do you care?
I know. Well, let's put it this way. It's cute. And
Wait a minute. This is a great picture.
It's...
Do we have an over-the-shoulder shot?
This is really
Do we have the
good.
over-the-shoulder Chad? No, we don't. Chad's running to turn on the camera. Oh, here, we could do it. Here. This is a cute picture. Look at that.
That's actually a video. She's looking at the plane. Oh. So, I mean, she's used to technology. So she has her own iPod. She knows how it works.
How old
She
is
can turn on. She's 4. She can make calls on it. She knows,
4 years old.
She can call me or her mom.
And she thinks you're an iPod Touch.
She thinks I'm a TV star. She taught my 93-year-old grandmother how to use the iPad.
Wow.
She taught her. She said, "Grandma, look, we can read a book. We can watch a video." I'm like, so.
Can I see the movie? How do we start the movie? That's all right. Don't worry about it.
Sure, you don't need to see
I'll tell you, I got another movie. I got another movie.
Tell me.
Tom Merritt is here from TNT, our news show. We do this every Monday through Friday, 2:30 Pacific, 5:30 Eastern Time, and he's got a look at the week ahead. Tom?
Hey, thanks, Leo. Here's a look at the week ahead. Some of the stories we'll be covering on Tech News today. August is kind of a slow month, but there's some interesting conferences this week. SIGGRAPH Vancouver starts off today, Sunday, August 7th, runs through August 11th. Also starting today in Philadelphia, APCO International Conference and Expo. It's a public safety tech conference. On Tuesday, the 14th Annual Technology and Communications Conference from Oppenheimer begins in Boston, Massachusetts. And on Friday, reach into your pockets and get ready to buy a Nintendo 3DS as the price drops to $170 in the U.S. That's a look at the week ahead. Back to you, Leo.
Thank you, Tom Merritt. Catch Tom every Monday through Friday on TNT at live.twit.tv. We're going to take a break, come back with our guests, the fabulous Ninja Hippo himself, Odaka, Owen J.J. Stone.
Yay.
How did I discover you?
Lisa actually discovered me because we were drinking together at South by Southwest. She said, "You're funny. You should be on TWiT." And I said, "Yeah, I know Leo." And then I showed up, and you said, "So what are you famous for?" And I said, "Nothing." "So what do you do?" "People like me." He's like, "That's right. People like you, I guess."
He's very likable.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a likable character.
And the chat room actually likes me now. When I first was on the show, they were like, "Get him off. He doesn't even have a Wikipedia page." And I was like, it cuts deep.
Not a requisite of appearing on TWiT to have a Wikipedia page. And you know what? You keep doing it, you will.
Somebody's going to make
Someday.
one day.
You will have a Wikipedia page.
Chad, get on that.
Also, Alexia Tsotsis from TechCrunch.com and Jolie Odell, formerly of Mashable. That's where you've seen her for a long time. But,
about a year and a half,
But now at VentureBeat.com, a great place for you. What is your beat? What do you cover at VentureBeat? Do you have a beat, or you can do anything you want?
I don't know what I don't cover. I try to step in where I'm needed, but I like talking about development topics, Android stuff. I follow Google and Facebook from a business and development perspective.
You said you were excited about going there because you'd get to cover more of what you were interested in, and that would be that
hard,
stuff?
thinky stuff.
Anything
that's not social media, I'm kind of
You're
into.
sick of that.
I think we're all pretty sick of that.
Pretty sick of that, yeah.
That's another chat.
No more Google Plus stories.
Please.
Enough. Alexia Tsotsis, what do you cover on TechCrunch? What's your beat?
I cover startups. I cover a lot. I mean,
TechCrunch is the startup blog. I mean, the startup blog. Has it been
news.
different since AOL acquired you?
People ask me that a lot, and I was the last employee before the acquisition, so I actually don't know. I have no idea.
When did you? But no, you've been there longer than.
I've been there a year, so I got there in August.
Right before the
and
acquisition.
we were acquired, I think, in September.
Oh, okay.
So I've got no basis for comparison.
Nothing to compare.
Not different at all.
And have you met Ariana?
Yes, I have.
She's a nice lady, isn't she?
She's very smart.
She is good. I interviewed her when she wrote many years ago a biography of Picasso. When she was Ariana Stassinopoulos.
Ariana Stassinopoulos.
That was a lot of words to say when that show. I didn't get her. I interviewed her for an hour. It took me that entire time to get her name right. Ariana Stassinopoulos Huffington. See, I still know how to do it. We're going to take a break, come back with more in just a little bit. A reminder, though, that if you are looking for a place to make your website, we mentioned WordPress. Everybody uses WordPress, but there are some negatives to WordPress. First of all, you got to find a host or use WordPress.com, and then they're going to put their ads on your site. And once you find the host, then you've got to install WordPress. And here's the big burden for me. I have to check almost daily to make sure that it's up to date, that it's secure, because it's constant. There's constant patches. I got to tell you, simple, simple, simple. You're looking for hosting. You're looking for great software, a great content management system. Squarespace.com. It's the secret behind exceptional websites. They host really good hosting that never goes down, because Squarespace has this very sophisticated virtual server technology that's tightly integrated with the software to give you really, really good performance. The software, there's none better. They've got the great iPhone and iPad app. Importing and exporting, that's important. You're never trapped from the Big Four blog APIs, movable type, WordPress, TypePad, and Blogger. By the way, when they say seamless, I mean it. All the links are preserved, all the images, all the SEO. If you're a photographer or you want to have a photo gallery on your site, I know a lot of you do, there are amazing tools for that. And everything on Squarespace is simple. Point and click, drag and drop. If you are sophisticated, you're not limited. You can use, of course, CSS, and you can use JavaScript. But you don't have to create an amazing looking site that is unique, and that's important. Some great developer templates from the best designers in the world make it very, very easy. Look, do yourself a favor. try this free. It couldn't be easier to try Squarespace. If you're in the market for somewhere for your next website, go to squarespace.com, see that big green try it free button, click that. All you need, no credit card, nothing. No commitment. You get it for free. Full access to everything they offer for 2 weeks. All you need is the name of the site, the password, and the email address, and you're in. Now, after 2 weeks, I think you're going to love it. You're going to have a chance to sign up. Now, it's just no ads, nothing. It's not free. You have to pay for it, but that's why there's no ads on it, and it's very affordable. In fact, the longer you sign up for, the less expensive it is, as little as $10.67 a month. But I'm going to add an additional kind of sweetener here. If you use the offer code TWiT8, T-W-I-T, the number 8, no spaces, you'll get an additional 10% off for the first 6 months of your site. So many of my friends use Squarespace. We use it for our Inside Twit blog. Very robust, very reliable, really great software. Squarespace.com. They're friends, and I invite you to give them a try. At least include them in your comparison shopping. And
just to piggyback on that, their mobile app is awesome.
Isn't it amazing?
Their mobile app is like, it's phenomenal. And
you can not only just post, but you can moderate. Yes, and you get stats and all that stuff.
And the widgets they have now, like, you know, it sounds silly, but like finding a good Foursquare app and stuff like that for like WordPress is kind of hard. They have everything built in right now where you could just drop things in and it just works.
Yeah.
So you can have a little map pop up. Like if I was driving here and you want to know where I was, you could follow me along. Boom, you'd see it.
It's great.
So check out Squarespace.
So you use it?
I have a website on it, yeah.
Not Angry Hippo?
No.
Hey, there'd be a good game.
Angry Hippo?
Angry Hippos.
There's cocaine hippos. Hippo goes crazy.
See how gangsta that is?
After getting high on coke. For the
no, you laugh, but hippos kill thousands of people every year. They're angry.
They're very territorial. Like they're fine and they're docile, but they're quick.
How do they kill you? Do they gum you? Do they lie on you? They trample you.
Yeah. So something that's 2 tons comes up and hits you in the chest, your heart's going to stop.
Wow, that's pretty scary.
Yeah.
Did you know there's something called the Pwnie Awards? You don't get a pony. It's PWN.
Memory, right? Memory.
The Pwnie Awards. I've got to go to these. I presume this is part of Black Hat or Defcon. Awards for people who've been pwned. And Sony gets the Epic Fail Award at Black Hat. The Epic Fail Pwnie Award. Of course. Who else? This was not even a competition.
No.
Sony was hacked over 24 times over the last 6 months. Over 24 times.
Sony has they just had a bad year. Like their new portable device isn't coming out in the States. It's only going to be released like in Japan, limited. And I'm like, they just have problems. You know.
I think it all stems from their reaction to Geohot. I think if they hadn't been so anti-hacker in the very first place,
they pissed everybody off.
They pissed everybody off, and then it's like, oh, hey, let's just put a target on ourselves.
Well, it's literally that problem, and you just don't do that, you know.
No,
well, you also don't fire your security guy. You don't use unmodified Apache in MySQL. I mean, you do some sensible security things, but you're right. They put a big target on there.
And how long did they go without updating their servers and their systems? Like, are you kidding me?
They were running unpatched Apache.
And that's one of the things where you say, you know, I use Xbox and I have a PlayStation. I always say, oh, the PlayStation's free for people who aren't really into gaming. But Lord knows, if I have to pay for security, then let me pay. Because if that's what free gets me, then I don't want to be on free. And you know, nobody's credit card. I don't care. That's a huge problem for that size of corporation with millions of people's information on hand.
Yeah.
You can't have that happen. Like, it just can't. There's other things that could happen. The service could go down. But don't tell me some punk kid came in and ate your lunch, because that's not cool.
Actually, the chat room, Jolie, reminds me that it wasn't just Geohot. Remember that Sony, in an attempt to protect their games, put a rootkit on people's computers?
God,
Remember their DRM? I mean, they have a long, bad history.
Yeah, and I think I have in the past contrasted that with, you know, the Xbox Connect. And Microsoft took the stance of, hey, here's this shiny new toy, please hack it. And
not at first, but they came around very quickly.
They really did, and I think it kind of saved them in some ways.
I love the logo for the ponies.
Well,
by the way.
This whole thing.
That's My Little Pony, dude. They're gonna get sued.
That's a great.
That is My Little Pony.
Not the My Little Pony.
That is the My Little Pony.
It's a My Little Pony.
It's My
Little Pony.
I think Jolie knows better than you do.
I had so
My
many
Little Pony
as a
like,
kid, and I love them.
I have a
How
dog.
did you know?
I just watched My Little Pony. That's like one of the My Little Ponies. Let me see her design on her hip.
You have to look on what it. No, I don't think it is.
Does anyone else think they made these awards up just to give an award to Sony?
Probably.
Possible.
That was a good
look,
call.
they have the best server side bug. That goes to ASP.NET Framework padding.
The best server side. How did they not fall asleep?
Best client-side bug, free type vulnerability in iOS. The best privilege escalation bug. You know, it'd be great to see people in tuxedos, and then they announce all the nominees.
Getting emotional.
Because Sony's going to show up for that.
my high-speed provider.
Best, most innovative research. That's a good one. Lifetime Achievement Award. Well, let's see who gets the Lifetime Achievement
Probably
Award.
Sony.
They really deserve it.
Who deserves it more than Sony?
It says this is from their official website. Most hackers have the personality of a supermodel who does discrete mathematics for fun.
They wish. They wish. Yeah, okay.
So apparently someone's been reading my dream book again, and I should really burn that. I didn't know it could get hacked. It was on paper, but apparently.
But I have to say, GeoHot won a pony. GeoHot, of course, the hacker who hacked the Sony PlayStation 3. But he got his pony for the best song.
Oh, yeah.
Let's play GeoHot. He's a good-looking guy. GeoHot, best song winning.
Yo, it's GeoHot. And for those that don't know, I'm getting sued by Sony. Let's take us out of the courtroom and into the streets. I'm a beast, at the least you'll face me in the Northeast. Get my ire up, light my fire. I'll go harder than Eminem went at Mariah. Call me a liar, pound me in the ass with no Luke Chafin. You're f***ing with the dude who got the piece of your safe band. Those that can't do bring suits. Cry to your Uncle Sam to settle disputes. Thought you'd tackle this with a little more tact, but then again, fudge packers, I don't know jack. I shed a tear every time I think a lick sang. Man, they're a corporation, and I'm a personification of freedom for all. You fill dockets like that's a constant foreign to y'all. But lawyers, money, water, and TRO stall. Out of business is jail for me, and you're suing me civilly. Exhibit this in the courtroom. Go on, do it. I dare you.
I gotta say, I like that. I like that. By the way, he got a job. He is working now at Facebook.
See? That's why I said you hack stuff, you get a job.
You get a job. That's style. Guys get style. I think it's
all right,
pretty
Leo.
impressive.
We just tell everybody that I hack TWiT, but I don't do it, so I get a job. But we pretend like it happened.
Okay, what job do you want?
I don't know. Somebody's going to start throwing money at me, and I'm going to have my pick of the litter. Isn't that how it works? I thought that's how it worked.
Sure, whatever you say.
That's how it worked.
Oh, whatever you say, Owen. J.J. Stone. Flickr reaches 6 billion photos uploaded. Do you think they'll get to 7 billion? How much longer before somebody puts Flickr out of its misery? 6?
Is it in misery?
I think it is.
How do they make money aside from pro accounts? I mean,
that's the misery.
And do the pro accounts even cover the hosting costs?
No, and the real misery is it's owned by Yahoo. That's the real pain in all of this. But no, I think this is actually a very good question. And I've talked to people at Yahoo who say there's that, you know, they try to make money selling calendars and prints and all this stuff.
It just doesn't
work. They make very little money, very little, sell very little of this stuff. The costs of Flickr's bandwidth alone are
Why aren't they running ads? I mean, it's the lamest business model ever, but they could do it.
And to be honest with you, not only just running ads, but they should do what Snapshots does. They should remind people to get prints and tell them that they get prints super cheap. Like, I printed one time off of Snapshots, and I'm actually annoyed.
You'll never stop hearing from them.
I'll never stop hearing from them, but you know what the thing is? I sit there and I haven't turned them off because I wait. 200 prints for $1. Boom, I'm on that. Right. 100 prints for $5. That's not a good deal. But they just run these things and they get me to buy them. And I buy them because they're cheap and it's nice to have pictures. But if they weren't so cheap, I wouldn't do it. But they just market. They market. They market. They don't stop. Flickr doesn't do anything. I pay Flickr $50 every 2 years. I don't hear from them until I have to pay again. That's it.
People are still using Flickr.
I use it.
2,500 photos uploaded per minute. This is the 6th billionth photo. It is a Montbretia flower.
Lucky them, it was a nice photo, right?
Yeah, it's a beautiful photo. Yeah, wouldn't it be terrible if
it was some guy like sitting in his living room?
No, don't go there.
Looking for pants.
There's some guy sitting in his living room.
Milestone photos are fantastic, though. I mean, it's just it's too suspicious. It's like a waterfall or like a photo from space.
Well, if they're 2,500 images a minute, they can pick a few. They have a few to pick from. They can't tell. It could be this one or this one, right?
No, I mean, don't they all have unique numbers?
Yeah, they've got unique. They can
So
tell.
they can tell.
They can't tell stuff. No, they can.
They could lie.
And let's put it this way. And beauty is relative. Somebody might think that that's a crappy picture.
No, but the guy with no pants in his living room and a camo
What
shirt.
is with you and this guy no
Eric
pants in the
Schmidt
living room?
sitting in the living room.
Do you need me to help you evict someone?
But
Like,
you
what
know,
is going on?
Flickr is tiny compared
I'll follow you
to
home.
Facebook.
Wait, that sounded bad.
So 6 billion photos on Flickr. Facebook gets 100 million photos every single day.
Haven't 75 billion photos been shared on Facebook or something?
Yeah, I actually moved my pictures to Facebook. I pay for Flickr, but I was worried about them, so I just started moving all my pictures to Facebook. So, because people actually look at them on Facebook as opposed to Flickr.
I mean, Flickr is hurting. They have no. They just now like instituted social features, so you can now. Share
like I said, no one looks at them. And
who cares about social features when your app is about photography?
Well, here's
large.
Ask Instagram.
Yeah, are you
no, but not even
ask Instagram.
Not even
you only
just
say that
Instagram.
because you're an Android user.
They don't even.
Instagram is like it's the third thing I check every morning. I love Instagram. Addiction.
But they're not even in the market. They're not even like locker rooms or Pixie or TwitPic. And if they were in that market, people would be looking at those pictures.
TwitPic's doing all right. They've monetized quite well.
Like I said, if they were in that market or they've moved to that market, they'd be doing good because they have higher quality pictures. Blobbity blobbity blue. They just don't do it. And why they don't do it is because someone is not bright.
Why.
Yes.
It's Yahoo.
Yahoo, call me. I'll help you.
Yahoo is I don't know why, but they just...
They're not bright.
Do you remember when Timothy West, like
Well,
a lead designer on the Flickr team, wrote a blog post?
I can too.
So Timothy West, one of the designers at Flickr, wrote a blog post saying, "This is how I wanted to innovate, adding social features, cleaning up the interface." And sadly, those plans were discarded.
Right.
So when one of your key designers is writing on her own personal blog that this is how I would change our product, and you don't implement this stuff, I mean, I'm surprised that Timothy's not at Facebook or even at Google or somewhere that's not Yahoo.
I'm sure that's what she was hoping.
Yeah.
Please hire me. I have some ideas. Don't judge me, please.
I'll hack into you.
I will. Amazon is founded as going right up against Goodreads. Speaking of social, I know you guys are dumb with social and blah blah blah.
No, the Amazon thing's really interesting.
This is very interesting. If you sign on, it's kindle.amazon.com. If you sign into your Amazon account, it will automatically populate. Let me sign in right now, and I'll show you. It automatically populates with all the books you have on your Kindle. But also, so if I go to your books, I haven't done anything on this site. I just signed in with my Amazon.com account. Not only all the books I've ever bought on the Kindle, but also if you say put everything in there, see it's to Kindle only, it'll show all the books you've ever bought on Amazon. If you, as most people do, I think these days, buy all your books from Amazon, this is a pre-populated Goodreads, and it's very similar to Goodreads. You can rate it, you can show your reading status, you can make that public. You can add public notes. Why do you think this is interesting, Alexia?
Because of something like Quora. Like the next frontier, I think, in social networking is the interest graph, which is what I'm assuming you're trying to pull off with your ninja hippo thing. And
ooh, God, I think you just got iced. I think you got iced.
But it's like
she may have Cinderella on her laptop lid.
I know,
but she's really the evil
Snow
queen.
White. Why does
I mean, Snow White. Whatever, Snow White. You know.
Yeah, Leo. Yeah. Snow White.
Snow White.
So I'm seeing all these services trying to take off chunks of the interest graph, and I'm seeing Quora doing the best job of it. And I just saw the Amazon.
Quora can't go much farther though, right? I mean,
I think it can. I think it can scale.
You think?
I think the story of tech is distribution, and I think that if you can get people like celebrities with large.
Here's the problem I see with Quora. It's a lot of work to answer these questions.
It's a lot of work.
What's the payoff?
The payoff is adding to the total sum of human knowledge. And
No. But you just said celebrities. You just said if you can get celebrities on, they're going to add to the total sum of some knowledge.
Ashton Kutcher's been doing a great job. So is celebrities. Here's the sense of celebrities.
Celebrity Ashton Kutcher.
No, Larry Summers, who was the president of Harvard. He was
He's a celebrity.
Yeah, he's Secretary of Treasury. Now he advises Andreessen Horowitz. He's on there answering questions about the U.S. economy.
Oh, I don't disagree. It's great for the reader. I mean, it's Wikipedia, but it's great for the reader. But I think that it's kind of hard to say that this is going to scale. That people will just go on here and answer questions.
Than Wikipedia, and it's less accessible than just asking the internet.
Well, that's true, and you tend to see the same stuff over and over again.
I mean, the entire institution of academia
is based around this.
Yeah,
but they get paid to do it. It's a job.
And I think Quora is struggling with that. Or not struggling. Quora is dealing with that as a problem at this point and trying to figure out how to incentivize users.
I have to
use
admit,
it.
this question, is it fun for movie stars to kiss other movie stars on screen? The #1 answer, Ashton Kutcher. He says, I live it.
Aren't you a better person for knowing this?
See, I read Us Weekly, and that's revolting even to me.
Right? I should just drill a hole in my brain right now.
He's also answered questions, what are the best cures for hangovers? How does a programmer become a programmer?
That's an amazing Quora thread. You need to go on there. It's amazing.
That's so sexist.
It's
what the
so
hell?
no.
What is
it's
a
not
programmer?
So sexist. It's amazing. A programmer is like, okay. So the best part about that thread is that coders and programmers are traditionally like dorky,
Right.
like
Christ
the
on a
stereotypically, the stereotype is that they're dorky, that they don't get with girls, they don't go to the gym. So these programmer dudes have trying to tip the stereotype on its
They're mocking
head.
bros while writing code.
But no, they're trying to be like coders that are also bros. They're coders that it's taken off a Jersey Shore.
It's sad that smart people want to ascend to being bros.
It's
like,
amazing.
I'm a genius, but being a bro would make me
You're right.
cool.
GTL.
This is a great thread.
It's an amazing. Look at this.
No,
Protein.
I'm with you on this.
I should smack that dude. Anybody with a pop collar gets smacked by me. Don't let me see you in the street.
That's what's funny about this thread. This is awesome.
So it's like reappropriating.
Mocking the people who made their lives miserable in high
So
school.
maybe you've convinced me of the value of
It's
of
fantastic.
Quora.
It's a piece
All
of
right.
culture. It's one of the most amazing.
It's a piece of culture.
These people who have been marginalized as nerds are trying to reappropriate the
Right.
stereotype by
Programming.
making fun, but also kind of being bros. What do bros do? Gym, tan, laundry, girls.
Laundry? They do laundry? You
They
might have to
go to
ride in the
dry
back seat,
cleaners.
Missy. I'm going to have to put you in the back seat on the way home. No. Next story.
I'm learning so much on this show.
Programmers. I will look.
Okay, so what's interesting about the Amazon social network is if you...
Now, okay, going back to that. Although I have to say, if you ask me, Reddit, Ask Me Anything is often as interesting, if not more interesting than Quora.
Totally.
But anyway, going back to this Kindle.Amazon.com, their new reading social network. What obviously some value to publishers.
Well, I mean, if it doesn't turn into like a ping for books,
Right. Which it has the potential.
which it has the potential to, it could be glorious. I think there's a site, Goodreads, that already does.
That's what I use. I use
right?
Goodreads. I like Goodreads.
But if you channel all that data into an actual like commerce,
There's more than Goodreads. There's Shelfari. There's a bunch of different sites like this. But I actually.
Isn't this ultimately more useful, though, to people selling books than to people reading them? Call me cynical. That's
no.
what I'm here for.
No. Because one of the attributes of somebody who reads books is they're always looking for recommendations for other books, right? So if there's normally you do that with real people. Like, what have you read lately, Jolie? Anything you like?
You know, there are book reviews in magazines.
It's not the same. So it's a social exercise. So you go to your friends, you say, "What are you reading?"
To somebody in real life, you
but
go
you can't
to
always.
Amazon.
You can't always go to your friends.
What you read, and they sell you more things to read, and it's not a neutral recommendation.
You can't always go to your friends. I don't use stuff like this. Like when I want to read a book, I actually talk to someone. I want to know why the book is good. I don't want to know that you rated 5 stars. Why did you rate it 5 stars?
Well, that's what you do on
Tell me a
Goodreads.
passage of the book that's awesome that makes me go out and buy it right now.
No, but that's what you do on sites
I know,
like
but
that.
I just want to talk to people about books. I don't want to put a list up and go buy off of a list.
When you get book recommendations from real people, also, you're not just
I'm a
reading
real
the
person.
same
If you
thing
get
over
my
and over
recommendation,
again.
you're getting I'm a real person. It's just online.
Just because behavior happens online doesn't make it fake.
Yeah.
I mean,
Do you
what's
know,
talking
Leo?
to real people? Speaking of 20 years of the World Wide Web, isn't 95% of all telecommunication routed through the internet at this point?
It is, sure, yeah.
So
I don't think there's anything wrong with this. You know, you follow people
I don't
you
say
know.
there's anything
and
wrong
you-
with it. I just personally would like. I would like to. Ask
No, this is better than that. It's like Twitter. You can follow people you care about, you or think are interesting, and get their recommendations. I couldn't necessarily. I'm going to use Ashton Kutcher. couldn't care less what he's reading.
Did you call him Aston?
Aston. But isn't that his name?
Ashton.
Let's go with Aston.
But if I
run with that.
if I wanted to know, if I thought, oh, Ashton is such an intellectual,
You're like,
He said duty.
that's what happens when you get women on the show. They just giggle.
I'm sorry.
that's the stereotype, and I don't think that this actually.
But it's true today.
Yeah.
It's a funny show, though. I mean, it's particularly a funny show.
Funny
So,
how?
we're getting
Do I
Aston.
amuse you? All right.
Aston's on Amazon.
Aston is on Amazon, and I want to. Let's say I thought he was a great intellectual, and I'd like to know what he reads, but I don't, obviously. But somebody else, I don't know. Stephen Hawking's on Amazon, and he's saying what physics books are good to read. That I care about. That I care about. And that's something I'm not going to normally have in real life, right? So there's some social value to that.
But everything you say on these websites is turned into an advertisement later.
Yeah, they got to monetize. So what? You don't like that?
Does everything have to be monetized?
Yes.
Well, somebody's going to pay for the server.
Monetized.
Somebody has to pay for that.
Leo.
I mean, people
You
who
said it yourself.
Go to the damn library.
You said it yourself.
How do
It's
you
a
think
free.
VentureBeat makes
The
money?
library costs money now.
That's
You have to pay
right.
for the
Shut up.
library.
You said it yourself. If it's not, you know, you are the product. If it's not selling a product, you are the product. So
But-
if you want a free service,
you are buying books on. Is that a free service? I mean,
Goodreads,
Amazon makes
yes.
money.
And Amazon
makes
isn't.
money every time you buy a Kindle or a
But
book
you can
on
make
Kindle
money
or a
too
book
if you
on
do an
Amazon.
affiliate through Amazon and then promote the book that you think is good.
Why would I do that?
Because you want to make money. And
don't.
Leo,
there's
everybody.
a lot of money to be made in that. Unless you
Yeah.
live in California, by the way.
What's wrong with California?
Because California passed a law saying Amazon had to collect sales tax, and Amazon had a hissy fit and said, by the way, all the associates in California, bye-bye, you're not getting any more money.
That's horrible.
Well, it's an interesting thing, and this happened a few weeks ago. I pay, you know, legally you're supposed to pay sales tax even if the vendor doesn't collect it, right? They call it use tax in California. So they ask you on your California income tax form, you know, did you buy a bunch of stuff online? Well, give us the use tax. I paid last year $6,000 in use tax on Amazon.com, but I also made about $20,000 on Amazon Associates. So, okay. Now, Amazon has to collect that $6,000, no longer gives me the $20,000, benefit for them, but the state of California loses the income tax I paid on the $20,000.
I'll start ordering. Everybody route everything through my affiliate. I'll send you a check.
Well, I don't, you know, I mean, we're a Delaware corporation. We probably just have it go to a mail drop
But
in
it'd
Delaware.
be better if you sent me the check.
$20,000
off the top.
that the state of well, anyway, it's don't get me
that's
started.
bad though. That's a bad situation. To
Well,
be in,
it's
what
an
you just
example
explained.
of legislators not understanding the complex interactions.
Oh,
that are
they
going
understand
on.
it. They just want a power stronghold.
Yeah, but
They
that
don't-
hurts. That
they
hurts
don't want
him
it
as
to
a
die.
It's
businessman.
nice when the government has revenue to do stuff.
They're also, well, but they're losing, and in the long run, I think California will actually cost them money. But what they're really doing is they're listening to the brick and mortar businesses, the bookstore down the street, who's saying, don't buy on Amazon. Because, and we don't want Amazon to exist because people buy there because they save sales tax. And then we're in a high sales tax state. It's 8 or 9%. So, I mean, I wouldn't go somewhere just to save 8 or 9%, but some people do, I guess.
I mean, aren't they trying to do something similar with Texas, like giving?
They've done it in a number of states.
Well, it depends on the purchase. Like, I drive to Delaware for anything over $1,500 because it costs me $3 for the toll and maybe $5 in gas, and I save $700, $800, $200, $300. I'll do that to save that money. So it all depends on what you're purchasing. Like I said, for you to lose $20K, that's a nice chunk of change. And then on top of it, you're going to put money out. I'd be.
By the way, unless anybody thinks that I'm doing something nefarious, we are registered as a corporation in Delaware. We pay corporate taxes in California. We pay extensive income taxes in California. I'm actually not taking money out of California by being a Delaware corporation. There's a complicated reasoning that I don't fully understand why we're a Delaware corporation, but that's what we are.
We let the bigwigs handle that.
Because it's cheaper in Delaware.
I think so.
Yeah.
There was some sort of
Is
reason.
that their state motto?
It's cheaper in Delaware. Oh, Dr. Shop's here.
That's definitely their
It's cheaper in
motto.
Delaware. This has been so much fun. Will you please come back and do this show again?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Alexia Tsotsis is Tsotsis.
Perfect.
Russian? Is it Russian?
No, it's Greek. Much
Greek.
like Stasinopoulos.
Stasinopoulos. See, and it took me an hour and a half to learn her name, too, so I apologize.
We've got another hour.
Tsotsis.
Tsotsis. Oh, no, actually, that's perfect.
Tsotsis.
That's perfect.
Let's get some Uzo and celebrate. She writes for TechCrunch, TechCrunch.com.
TechCrunch.com.
The new 8-bit version. Available everywhere. Did you make your fingernails to match the 8-bit logo?
I actually created our logo myself.
No, you lie.
You lie.
You lie. Liar. Thank you for being here, Alexia.
Thank you
It's
for
great
having
to have
me.
you. Jolie Odell, I've been trying to get you on the show for ages. I just didn't realize I could send you an email. So
It's hard.
it's good that we got you on. Thank you.
Thank you.
Now at venturebeat.com. Really nice to meet you. Thank you for coming in. Oh, Doctor, I saved the best for last.
Thank you.
Yes. Appreciate your being here. Just remember, black doesn't crack.
It doesn't.
Black doesn't crack.
If you can hear the sound of my voice, please share this episode with one of your friends so we don't have to suffer alone. Thank you, and we appreciate you. Don't forget, tweet it, share it, email it, surprise email it to people. Don't tell them what it is. Just watch their face after they open it and watch it and cry.
Nipplehinja.com.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's a site I'd go to see.
Just follow me on Twitter and don't listen to old man Leo.
A reminder. Oh, Twitter handles, Alexia.
I'm at Alexia.
Ooh, that's good.
I'm at Jolie.
Oh, you
What?
got the whole name.
Jolie
Not just
yeah,
Jolie.
sorry.
There
No,
couldn't have been
someone
another
had that.
Jolie.
There is.
That's rude.
A attack her personal
please. No.
Don't do that.
Hey, whatever happened? Did we, Lady Big Mac? Remember we had everybody follow Lady Big Mac last week? I'm just curious. You know, she was the one, you know.
I wrote that, the commentator.
Yeah.
Twitter pundits.
Let me just see if Lady Big Mac went, because we asked everybody who was watching TWiT to follow her last week, and her numbers went way up, and you didn't stop following her. We doubled her numbers to 3484, but I also said stop following her. But she's great. I'd follow her. She's real. We heard from her. She's a nice person. She's a wife, a mother, a grandmother, and a NASCAR junkie, so what could be wrong with that? We do this show every Sunday afternoon, 3 p.m. Pacific. That's 6 p.m. Eastern Time and 2200 UTC. You can watch it live. All the expletives will be in the live version at live.twit.tv. And then if you don't want it, if you want the expletive deleted version, you can always get that anytime after the fact at twit.tv, or just go to iTunes, the Zune Marketplace, or anywhere better netcasts are served, and download a copy. In fact, do me a favor, subscribe. We make audio and video versions available. Thanks for joining me. I'm Leo Laporte. Another TWiT is in the can.
Amazing.